Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Illinois High School Association State Wrestling Individual Championships. We're here in the house at Assembly Hall. Folks, let's get ready to wrestle.
This is a great moment in Illinois high school wrestling. The first class AA wrestler ever to become a four-time state champion. This is just pure happiness right here.
Gets a big hand from the crowd and some of the officials. I just want to say hello again. I just want to say hello again. When you are with me, I'm free, I'm careless, I believe. Above all the others will fly. This brings tears to my eyes. 'Cause when you are with me,
championship comeback.
It certainly was.
My sacrifice. My sacrifice. I just want to say hello again. My sacrifice.
He's in trouble. He's in big trouble. Cannonball maybe going down, and he is.
Is the upset of the tournament. Matt Kukala wins by fall.
Matt Kukala has upset Eric Tannenbaum.
some of the most anticipated finals in Class AA in years are going to be wrestled here tonight at the Assembly Hall in Champaign. And good evening, everybody. Along with Ken Schertow and Mark Massery, you are going to enjoy this broadcast, I guarantee you, tonight. Ken, great to have you. The roads weren't great, but you're here. That's the important thing.
Here we go. Yes, nothing was going to stop me from getting through the blizzard to get here. I'm ready to roll.
And Mark, you were here with me this afternoon. You would think it couldn't get any better, but I think it's going to tonight. Okay, well, we're going to be cutting away to our first match here.
Let's get it on.
B.J. Futrell of Chicago Mount Carmel in the brown singlet. John Morrison of Carl Sandburg in the blue. These two guys have wrestled once this season. They met in the semifinals of the Dvorak tournament, with Futrell winning in overtime. So this is a match that you can count on probably going all the way down to the wire.
Yeah, very evenly matched on their feet. They both move good. I expect we're going to see a lot of good wrestling scrambles, but perhaps not a lot of scoring. I might eat my words here. I don't know if he's going to finish, so that's really good technique so far. Morrison's fighting hard. Look, he dives underneath for the near funk, but was unable to get it. A quick takedown. Big move for Futrell.
Already more points than were scored in that first meeting at the Dvorak. It was 1-1 going to overtime. So the first regulation offensive points here in between one of these two wrestlers this year.
Futrell did good stepping out there to initiate the takedown, got to it right quick.
Well, you know, and he has such a calm demeanor out there. It doesn't look like he's excited about anything, but he's awfully skilled, and he hasn't really had a challenge yet in this meet. He's had a fall, and a 9-point victory, so he's been on cruise control so far.
You know, Mark, one of the things we look at as they go off the edge, 57 seconds left in the first period, 2-0 for Futrell. Year after year here at the Assembly Hall, you have so many close matches, 1-point matches, overtime, tiebreakers. You know, we've had a lot more blowout type results this year, but I just think we just have more elite wrestlers in the state than we've had in previous years.
Well, it would certainly appear that way, and I would agree with you. And the other thing is, it's a mindset. You know, there's a lot of good wrestlers that once they get a 4 or 5 point lead, they decide they want to protect it, and you have to have a certain mindset that, hey, I'm going to make that 5-point lead a 10-point lead, so that an accidental mistake or a ref's call that goes against me doesn't cost me the match. And that kind of attitude helps promote the higher scores.
And that's what we need to see. We need to see more action out there. Speaking of the action, now Morrison really picked up the pace there. He hit a nice sit out and turn in. His stand-up wasn't quite getting him away, so he changed up and hit a good, sharp turn in with a good hip height. The referees have not given the one yet. I'd say that's one right there. As they go out of bounds, I would expect him to give it to him. There you go. There's the 1 point for Morrison. Boy, a quick go behind there would have been nice for him. He let up. But that was a big escape. He couldn't afford to get ridden out that whole period. He spent too much time on bottom, but that was a critical point to put him back in a 1 point spread there.
That's a good call. With 3 seconds left, that was a very good time to get his head popped out of there, because I don't know if the ref would have given it to him otherwise.
You know, each state's different, every official's different. Typically, you see that as called an escape. Where I'm seeing a lot of high school wrestling in Pennsylvania and working college wrestling, that's pretty much an escape. Now, again, every state's different there. What do you guys usually see here in Illinois on that call?
I would agree with you that it's up to the ref as to whether or not they're going to call. And quite honestly, they might have called that an escape if time had run out. They might have been holding up.
Probably would have. I think they probably would have given a loss of control. Little bit, perhaps a little slow on the call, but I think he was going to get the one regardless.
Yeah, I think they were going to give it to him. I would have given him one sooner, though. On the initial cutout, he did a really good job of clearing out. And boy, he's going to work on top. Now let's see if he can hold Futrell down the whole period, though. Can he keep the pressure on? Futrell let up a little bit at the end. It's not easy to ride somebody for a whole 2 minutes. You got to have some tremendous persistence and great arm strength and endurance. The endurance is so critical. I'm always urging my athletes to do pull-ups, not only when they're fresh, but when they're tired. You got to be able to keep grinding and keep pulling. It's a challenge to ride these guys out. You know what? Both these guys are used to dominating on their feet, taking guys down, letting them up, getting some energy. It's in the state finals, they really pick up the pace on top, so it's a big challenge for them.
Well, Morrison's not cutting him any slack here. He's trying to ride him tough, and I tell you what,
this is really
Futrell's got him in trouble. He's got him in trouble. He's almost got a reversal, and there it is.
Picked up the leg, managed to get the leg hooked, and got the reversal. I think that is what Morrison was trying to do, Mark, because you saw that in the semifinal against Nowry. He really ground him on top, and that was really part of his strategy.
I thought he was going to have to grind Futrell out the second period to wear him down so he could take him down in the third.
Now Morrison with the stand-up.
He's really got his work cut out for him. Now he's trying to turn the tables with a reversal. He had a nice stand-up. I thought he was just going to get one out of it. And there it is, 1 point.
See, he had the one. He should have pulled the leg back in. He went out of bounds too easy. He had a nice single leg there. Tactically, he needed to change directions and pull that leg back in. He let that go. You know, Morrison's really outstanding on his feet. I've seen him grown up as a little boy at my camp, starting when he was just around 45, 50 pounds, which really wasn't that long ago. I mean, he didn't start growing until he was 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. He's getting up into the 70s and 80s. And as you said earlier, I mean, he's barely filling out, eating everything he can to get up above 103 so he can cut a few pounds. But he is tremendous on his feet. I've seen him drilling and drilling. It'd be nice to see him get a takedown, because so far in the matches we said earlier against Futrell earlier in the season, he wasn't able to score a takedown. For him to beat him, he's going to have to get one. So let's see what he's got.
It's 4-2 now with about 20 seconds left in the second period, and either now or in the third, he's going to have that elusive takedown.
Yeah, he's standing around too much. I'm not impressed, because I know he's got the offense in him. I think it's poor tactics not to take advantage of the last 20 seconds of this period right here. He's tactical here. He should have kept the pressure on at very least, if not even scoring. But both these guys have been content to rest out the end of the period. That's actually a great time to score.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think from a tactical standpoint, he should have kept the pressure on, because if he's going to have a shot, he's going to have to probably take it late in the match.
Morrison will take down to start the third period. Still 4-2 for B.J. Futrell of Mount Carmel.
Nice.
Laura and Futrell riding a crossbody here.
And I can't wait around. Morrison's going to have to get moving, get his hips moving. There you go. Boy, Futrell's leaching.
He's just got that wiry strength, Futrell does. He doesn't look that strong, doesn't lift a lot of weights, but he is a lot stronger than he looks.
Morrison needs to get more back pressure. We're going to get a stalling call on top. A good call, too, because as you said, Futrell's just floating and kind of leeching on, holding on. I look for Morrison to get away here. Let's look if he goes back to that sit-out. Yeah,
that was a pretty fair stalling warning, because Futrell's hips never left the backside of Morrison. So there he goes. He cuts him loose. That's probably a smart thing to do, and take his chances on his feet.
I'll be interested to see if Morrison can convert all the moves he knows on his feet into some offense here. He's got the opportunity. This is what little kids grow up dreaming about, stepping out in front of everybody at Assembly Hall and being in the state finals. And we got a little injury break. Looks like Futrell's contact came out. They're going to get right back at it. Morrison doesn't look excited. He's looking just kind of standing. Let's see if he picks up the intensity. Here we go.
Minute 15 left to go here in the third period. It's only a 1-point match, but it doesn't feel that close somehow.
Well, Futrell's controlled a bit. He got the early takedown. He's ridden a good amount. You know, the difference in the match, though, is that first takedown. Futrell stepped. Futrell came to wrestle. He was aggressive. Now Morrison's going to have to find a way to get that takedown. This is what it's all about. Get it done in the heat of battle. Nice slide by, a couple shots. Futrell's still wrestling hard. He's been warned for stalling, so he has to.
47 seconds left as they go off the edge, and that's the second time in the last series here that Morrison has kind of backed him up toward the edge, and if he can do that again.
Well, Futrell's wrestling smart, because he's backing up a little bit to make it hard on Morrison, but he's not backing up so much that it makes it obvious for the refs that he has to call him. But he's going to have to take another half shot here somewhere along the line.
He is out of the circle now. Now he circles in.
Yeah, he's not going to get stalled out. He's wrestled most of this match. Morrison has to create more setup actions. He's just kind of plodding away forward on. He'll have to create 2 or 3 setups to get a takedown on Futrell here in the last 20 seconds.
It almost looked like Morrison's a little bit nervous of Futrell's speed, and it's put him off his game a little bit.
Morrison trying to circle. He has to circle here. This is his shot.
He stopped.
Down to 10 seconds now.
He didn't get the angle. Futrell controlled him.
Futrell's going to be able to back out of bounds really without anything happening, and 5 seconds are all that now remains. Still 4-3. Half shot, 3, 2, 1, and that will do it. Once again, a close match, and once again, B.J. Futrell of Mount Carmel prevails, and he is the first of our Class AA state champions for the evening.
Futrell wrestled a nice poised match.
You're right, Futrell really looked in control of that match.
Yeah, take a moment to catch your breath here. Congratulations first on winning your first state title. And Ken and everybody up in the booth, I also have with us BJ's father, who is the 1977 119-pound state champ. So BJ, you get to put the bracket board up on the wall next to your dad's. Just tell me how all this feels for you.
It feels real good. Let you know that the hard work pays off. Anything less than a state championship this year would have been a disappointment. So I'm glad I was able to come through.
You catch your breath here. I'm going to ask your father a question. What's it like to see your son pull this out and, tough opponent like John Morrison, who he's wrestled many times before?
Well, my hat's off to John. John is a great opponent. Known him for years through the kids program, but it's just a blessing for me to see my son win a state title. As you know, I also won a state title, and this is what he's been working so hard for all this year. And I just thank God that he was able to pull it out here tonight. And hey, we give him all the praise and honor.
Okay, Andre, thank you very much.
Well, I don't know too many coaches ever get into coaching for accolades like this. This is the highest honor you could possibly get. I've been to Grand March for many wrestlers, and every time I still get chills. But tonight, it's going to be totally different, and I'm sure I'll be a little choked up. This is the highest honor possible.
This 112-pound championship match is brought to you by Top Gun Freestyle Team, Illinois' #1 freestyle club.
It's great to be in the finals. Have a little unfinished business from last year. Lost in double overtime. Picture in my room about it when I was walking off the mat crying last year. I felt like awful after that. Don't want to feel like that ever again. So my strategy is this year I'm going to go out there. It's going to be in the back of my head the whole time. And I'm just going to go out there and wrestle how I can. I don't care what anyone else does.
It's going to be amazing. I've been wanting to do this since I was little. This is what it's all about. Limit Ramos's takedowns and try to turn him on the mat. Go-to moves are my power double and my tilts.
Mark, you and I talked in the semifinals about what an offensive machine Ramos was, and he certainly was against Giroux with the 6 takedowns. That was pretty impressive.
Well, it was impressive because he used several different types of takedowns. He used aggressive shots. He used the slick chuck buys when the man was pushing in on him too hard. He showed quite a range of skills, which is impressive because a lot of guys are just one way or the other. They're slick or they're powerful or they're coming at you, and he did all the above.
Yeah, definitely a big step up of intensity here from the 103-pound bout. Morrison and Futrell, a lot of familiarity with each other, not just from this year, but from the youth wrestling, seeing each other on the circuit, and now that they're both respectful and cautious. I know they both have more offense from that in them, and here Ramos is really stepping up the pace.
Well, this is our second match in a row with a #1 and a #2 ranked wrestler going at each other, and these guys are both sophomores. They're going to see a lot of each other over the next couple of years.
And we are 1:20 into the first period of our 112-pound championship match, and a stall warning here against Adam Sheley of Geneseo. Tony Ramos of Glenbard North, ranked #1 in the country at 112, got the first takedown, and takedown #2. And
well, the coaches are going to hope that the refs wave that off. Sheley got popped in the mouth pretty hard by Ramos's head on the way in.
He's tenacious. I like his style, and he's got a variety of setups too. You see, he changes directions really well. He's in the guy's face. Look, he went from the left side to the right side.
Oh, he's just. He is really fun to watch. That's all you could say. He is fun to watch.
Ramos is just one of those guys who wrestles from one edge of the mat to the other. And, well, this is interesting. He's going to try to ride Sheley, who's kind of like Giroux in the semifinals, only more so. Sheley really is a great mat wrestler, and, well, maybe Ramos trying to show us something here.
Well, with 10 seconds left, I think he figured that was his best bet for that particular situation.
Yeah, good strategy. And, just generally, he's a good takedown wrestler, but even the great takedown wrestlers, you got to figure in that 20 to 30 second window. If you get on top, your goal is to ride the guy out hard, wear him down without giving up the score. Every situation is different. Some guys will cut a guy loose with 30 to 40 seconds, believing and knowing they're going to get that takedown. But anything under 30 usually is ride out range, where you're really going to push him and break him down.
Well, and quite honestly, he'll need that kind of skill over the next couple of years as college coaches start to take a look at him, because they're not going to want somebody that cannot ride somebody for 10 or 15 seconds.
Indeed, you're so right. In coaching college, you're looking for the complete wrestlers, because in the college level, you're often looking at no takedowns or one takedown each. It's so critical that you can ride the guy out when you need to, that you can get off bottom. Those are two big areas where a lot of elite high school kids need a lot of work, is getting off bottom and be able to control good wrestlers. They're used to controlling their typical high school opponents, but to control the best guys, it's definitely a bigger technical and tactical challenge.
Now, that being said, quite honestly, you could show a tape of Ramos moving his opponent to get him off of balance and take shots. You could show that to a number of college kids and say, that's how I'd like you to do.
There you go.
He's so good at moving his opponent around for setups.
One of the reasons, of course, that Ramos took neutral to start the second period. It's still 4-1 in favor of Ramos.
All right, well, here's the interesting thing. Going into the third period, Sheley's still behind. Is he going to choose under, or is he going to choose top?
I think he really has no choice but to choose top. That's his shot. He's not going to take Ramos down. So that's about his only chance to score points at this point. Guys have done it and been successful in this tournament, as we have occasionally seen. Less than a minute to go in the second period, and Ramos with another throw by.
Wow. Wow, they just nailed Sheley for backing up onto that edge and off again. Hit him for a stalling point. It's now 5-1 in favor of Ramos.
Yeah, Ramos is just relentless, just in-your-face pressure.
Again.
Yeah, young wrestlers at home, pay attention, not just necessarily a shuck to a single, but in general, be able to attack both sides of the guy's body. And I don't mean just be able to attack a high crotch on one side and a single on the other, but be able to pull an elbow on one side and then change directions and attack the other leg with an angle. Too many wrestlers fail to combine their setups, let alone be able to attack both sides.
Well, Sheley needs a takedown right now with 30 seconds left to get back in this match. He desperately needs this two-pointer. It looks like Ramos is countering it.
And Ramos showed some good hips right there. He turned his hip nice. He had a tight whizzer. So not only does he have great offense, but he's got strong hips on defense as well.
Ramos takes him out. 14 seconds left in the second period. He's ahead 5-1. This 112-pound championship match.
That was too straight on, but he almost bullied through it anyways. He's just powerful.
Just about
they get it anyway.
He does.
There
he gets the bull job done. He's got that. He pulled in that double and scored on the edge with 2 seconds left. Well, that pretty much wraps this match up, unless Sheley can get him turned in the third period.
It's another. You look at Ramos's box scores throughout the year: 15-5, 16-6, 19-8. And he was getting those scores against a lot of the guys that placed at 119, as well as the guys that placed at 112. He averaged well into the teens in points a match. He's just a machine.
Well, so far his closest match at the state meets 7 points differential, and he's on his way to that again.
Yeah, he's very aggressive and intense. He's got Sheley broken here. You know, he picked top and wasn't able to hold him down at all.
And that was really Sheley's one last chance, and no problem for Ramos getting out. And he's on the attack again.
Well, not only is Ramos now 7 points ahead, which was his closest match so far, but for the style conscious, he's winning the match there too. He's got the close cropped hair on the sides, middle of his hair is a little longer, blonde tipped. It's a good look. It's a good look. And there's another takedown. Just talking about style, there's another takedown.
It's just drilling right now. Minute 20 left to go. Ramos looking at a major decision if nothing changes, and it's not likely that nothing will change from this point. They go off the edge with a minute 10 left to go.
Well, he's had the kind of a tournament that can get you outstanding wrestler type of awards. I mean, he hasn't had a close match yet, and this is just dominating to be beating a kid this good in the finals this soundly is quite a performance.
Yes, I'm impressed. I like his intensity. I like his tenacity where he's in your face. He's just keeping the pressure on. He's pretty diverse, too. He changes setups. He's got good short offense. Let's see if he can get a counterattack right here. This is what I call short offense. Just little quick drags, trying to get behind the guy. He likes to shoot. He just wants those legs, doesn't he? There we go.
You know what? He is not nursing that lead. He's just going to keep scoring some points for the fans.
And that's the way you want to wrestle, just relentlessly. I like it. And he's got good technique, too. Very good driving doubles. Impressive work. Good focus, good conditioning. He's just nonstop. I like that.
And in lieu of a miracle at this point, he's going to get his first state title.
40 seconds left to go now. This is a 112-pound state final, and Tony Ramos of Glenbard North is putting on a clinic. He drives him out of bounds.
One area he can improve on, clearly, is the counterattacks, the snapping the guy, spinning him, get behind him. Every time Sheley takes a medium shot, Ramos doesn't really go behind him. He just
he's not going to
get that.
He thought about it.
We almost had that miracle we were talking about. It was Ramos shot in, and Sheley just about had a counter headlock, but Ramos avoided it at the last second.
Yeah, Sheley's just playing exhausted, too. Ramos does a nice job, good diversity of offense.
We heard a nice whoa out of the crowd, because it was just about there, but not quite. Nice
and that'll
job.
do it.
12-2.
12-2 is the final. And Tony Ramos of Glenbard North, this was a coronation indeed over the number 2, as well as some other wrestlers on the short list of rankings here in the state throughout the rest of the tournament.
Congratulations, you're a state champ, runner-up last year. We've noticed that you put up a lot of points through the state series. And last year you were in an overtime one-point match. What have you done to open up your offense and make things a little bit more comfortable for you?
First, I want to start with, I want to thank my sponsors. Thanks to our team sponsors, Hino, LCC, Olympic Chiropractor. If it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to go to the Ironman tournament. Clash, they paid for a lot of that, and that prepared me for these type of matches. And I push 6 minutes. Don't care how tired you are, your legs are dead, you still gotta push it.
Ken Cherto's Gold Medal Wrestling Camp System, the best wrestling camps across the nation for wrestlers ages 6 through 18. Enroll today at kencherto.com to attend any of our 2007 summer camps, and be sure to visit wearandgear.com for all your wrestling needs.
This 119-pound championship match is brought to you by Marion Catholic High School's wrestling program. Nationally recognized college prep school where students graduate prepared for college, prepared for life.
It feels great. I kind of expected to be here. Everyone else probably didn't think I'd be here. I worked so hard to do this. I've been up a weight class all year. No one really thought I'd be where I am right now, but me and my coach always thought I would be.
Not to hold back. Try to avoid any first-time jitters or anything that I have, and just attack the whole match.
He had a chance to watch Coleman in a great semifinal as well, Mark.
Yeah, Coleman is, I like to call his style of wrestling sneaky. He doesn't come at you and just hammer on you the way we just saw Ramos, but he can score when he has to, and he's won all 3 of his matches were one-point matches. So he knows how to keep it close. He knows he can score when he has to, and you can't. At this point, he came in seated ranked 11th, so nobody expected him to be here, but he's really shown good mat awareness, and he's gotten it done when he's absolutely had to. And Munster, on the other hand, what can you say? He's a freshman. He's 42-3 in the finals. He's got a lot of talent, and he wrestles very calmly. He doesn't get too excited.
I like how he works the head. Munster's really been picking up the head. He snaps. Oh, good counter, too. Wow, we got a good scramble there. A slide by, then an arm throw. He's got to get him to the mat. That's 2 right there. All weight was down, but he might slip him off. We're looking at a reversal here.
Well, that was a good job by Coleman just to limit it to 1 escape. He was in danger there of being pulled over for a second.
Good wrestling. That was some good wrestling. What we saw there is little Sean hit the slide by, shrugged him by, and had him 3/4 down, but Munster did the arm throw to try to counter that. The freestyle Greco type reaction. It wasn't very good, though, and immediately little Sean Coleman went behind him and threw the legs in, but when he threw him in, his hips were not in very good position. He was nearly falling off him, and Lee Munster finished the job, made him fall off for the near reversal, and ended up with the escape.
Yeah, it kind of looked like Munster threw that arm, the shoulder throw at the last minute. Oh, that was a really nice arm drag to a leg pick. Coleman's.
5 seconds left in the period. 2-1, and nothing doing as we go to the second. Coleman ahead 2-1.
What great wrestling. That was a beautiful arm drag, but the counter was even better. He kept scrambling. But, I'm a big fan of the arm drag. Mark, when you were an All-American and champion for Northwestern, the arm drag was so popular. It seems like now that the evolution of so many different moves, coaches kind of get away from that, but that's a staple move. That move has withstood the test of time.
Well, it has, and one of the reasons I think it's still effective today is because guys don't see it as much, so they're not as used to seeing it and countering it. So it may even be more effective today than it was 20 years ago.
I agree with you. It's a slick one. Lincoln McElravy, he was very dominant with his arm drag, and he had a lot of variations. He would do it from a cross wrist clear, kind of a modified 2-on-1, and he'd slide to his hip. He had a really good arm drag series. In that case, Munster had a sweet arm drag, but he didn't have the follow-up necessary. It's like having a good setup, but not following up with a pure leg attack. Well, he had a really clean arm drag. Maybe he shocked himself how easily he got his opponent by, and then he didn't have the clean deal on the finish. But to Sean Coleman's credit, wow, he showed some good flexibility and was able to prevent himself from giving up the takedown.
Yeah, he countered that nicely. And, well, this is Coleman's kind of match right now. It's 3-1. Oh, nice motion off the head down to the leg on the part of Munster.
Yep, that's the same really good head inside single that Futrell got in earlier on, and he converted. Let's see if Munster can get that leg up right now.
Munster needs to finish. He really needs to tighten this matchup. Otherwise, Coleman's just going to slow it down.
Coleman is hard to finish on. Wow.
Oh, what? Munster
Still got. Oh. How did he get
the
whizzer back in there?
Coleman used every bit of length he had to fight that one off. I thought Munster was going to hip him over.
Down under 45 seconds now. Coleman did get the escape earlier in the period. It is 3-1, and Munster's had 2 or 3 good opportunities here and not able to cash in on any of them. Boy, this is the kind of defense that you just see match after match after match in this tournament.
Well, I expect to see one more good shot by Munster here. It seems to me that Grant as a team is very well schooled at getting a good shot off in the last 30, 20 seconds. I mean, you see it up and down their lineup. I've seen them a couple of times this year.
18 seconds left to go as they come back to the center.
Let's see if he can snap the head and get the tack off. He's got to keep moving. Right now he's hanging out. Snap and go. He can't hang on the head.
Now under 15 seconds.
He likes that left underhook.
Well, there's that warning stall on Coleman that I thought I might see a little bit earlier, because Munster has really pressed the attack in this match, and Coleman has done a really good job of keeping everything slowed up and under control.
Coleman's deceptively strong. He ran right through that underhook there. He's got very good length, leverage, plus lanky strength. It's impressive. Good hips, too, because he's fought off a number of single-leg attacks with the hip whizzer.
Well, I tell you what, this is going to be an interesting third period because both wrestlers look fatigued right now. I mean, for not a lot of points being scored, there's been a lot of energy expended with good shots and hard counters. And it's going to be interesting to see who pulls the energy out here in the third period, the freshman or the junior.
Coleman keeps the head and arm combination, looking like kind of like a stalemate situation here, and a potentially dangerous is called. We're 16 seconds into the third period, and Lillishawn Coleman of Oak Park River Forest clinging on to that 3-1 lead. Goes right back to the head and arm.
Side headlock. That's too quick of a call on a potentially dangerous. He's got to give him a chance to work it. There's a number of things. The coach doesn't like it either. There's a number of things you can do with that. You can lace the inside leg and roll them. You could do a side headlock roll without the legs in there. You might remember we worked the senior nationals together, Rob. Nathan Galloway used that move in the finals against
There he
Colson.
went.
Oh, yes.
Right back at it.
The side headlock. He looks really confident with it, too.
And, you know, Munster, it looks like he hasn't seen much of this before. It doesn't really look like he knows where he wants to go.
Right, and where he should go is around the head. He needs to circle out of that like he's coming out of an arm spin or like coming out of a sit-out, turn-in shrug.
And a stalling call against Coleman, and Mike Powell doesn't believe it. He wants to talk about this one.
That's not the correct call. That's not stalling. I saw potentially dangerous. I'm not sure if he called illegal move or stalling, Rob.
No, he had the fist up. That was stalling.
He banged him for stalling. No, he's trying to turn him.
Yeah, and he's not parallel to the wrestler. He's not behind his hips. That's an interesting call, but they're leaving it stand.
Right, I could argue that Munster was stalling by not trying to sit out and turn in and move. But hey,
this is one of the differences in officiating that you see as Munster spins out for the escape. It's 3-3 with a minute left. This is one of the differences that you see in officiating between Illinois and Pennsylvania. The man on top is usually worn first, which is definitely not the way they call it out east.
Well, this just made for a very interesting third period because without that point, it's 3-2, and Coleman slows this match down. Now we can't afford to do that because the next takedown is going to win this thing.
He's got to change directions. Munster's got to change directions. He can't stay down there.
Oh, he got
switched off to the double.
Oh, there he is. And they gave him the 2.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Are they going to wave it off? Are they going to wave it off? I don't know.
Yes,
they're waving
they
it
did
off.
Wave it off. Somehow Coleman got the whizzer in there. Under 30 seconds left to go.
That was the right no call.
Well, they haven't taken the 2 points off the scoreboard yet, but it is 3-3.
Boy, Coleman, we talk about Coleman being sneaky. He has a way of doing the right thing. Even if you think he looks tired, he has a way of getting the right thing done.
Oh, the crowd can't believe it. They thought Munster had the 2. They thought that whizzer by Coleman was a little late, but 18 seconds left now, 3-3. This could be quite a finish.
Yeah, well, the ref on this, nice job. Knee pick. He's not going to finish, though. Coleman's got that whizzer again.
Couldn't get it in deep enough. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, are they going to do it?
No.
Wow, right at the...
They do get it. Oh,
right
my goodness.
At the buzzer. Well, the refs are going to confer on this. Wow.
I think time expired before at least even the recognition, if not the call.
That was a high-risk finish, taking it backwards like that, because if he had been countered, he would have been taken down. That was a high-risk finish, and right now it looks like it paid off for the freshman.
Well, the takedown awarded at the buzzer to Lee Munster of Grant, and the freshman is the state champion.
In order to be at 4 times, you got to win the first one as a freshman, and you just did that. Tell me what's going on in your head right now.
I'm feeling really good right now. I knew I had to push the pace in that match to win, and I'm glad that all the training and hard work that I did during the season is starting to pay off right now.
Jeff Harrison, I am from Sloan, Iowa, former University of Northern Iowa Panther wrestler. 2-time, never made the All-American. But anyways, coming into Assembly Hall, I mean, this is awesome. It's orange everywhere. The fans are pumped up. It's a cool environment. You've got the Grand March, which is something that I wish we would have had in Iowa. The guys are so pumped up about it. They come in here for their interviews. They can't keep a smile off their face. Winning a state title is everything when you're in high school. All their dreams come true, and it's cool being a part of it. I'm glad that we get to cover this on the DVD, and to them it's no better feeling, and to us it's just, it's a great feeling that we're helping them out and giving people something to watch.
This 125-pound championship match is brought to you by Ken Gertie's III Memorial Foundation.
We're on to one of our feature matches now. Both wrestlers in the black singlets, and 3 state titles between these 2 gentlemen here.
Well, it's another one of those number 1 versus number 2s coming into the finals, so that's always fun. Rob, do you have any idea how many times these 2 have wrestled each other over the years?
Well, they've wrestled. This is the first year that they've been at the same weight class. They, of course, wrestled each other in the regional final at Plainfield Central, which Starzik won 3-2. And he steps over and has the takedown.
I don't know about that. He got a takedown, but by the time he was in control, they were out of bounds. The ref threw it up there, though. Boy, that was some crazy scrambling. I like both these guys can get after it. You could see right off the bat.
These Lincoln Way Central kids are really great scramblers, and we've seen it all throughout the tournament. Anyway, it was 7-2 in the sectional final at Downers Grove North, which I really think was the toughest state qualifying tournament in all of America this year, with 44 state-ranked wrestlers there. But the match was a little closer than the final score indicated, but 2 for 2 for Starzik so far, and he leads 2-0 here with under 40 seconds left in the first period.
Well, he's grinding that crossface. Now, you don't see a whole lot of crossfaces anymore. I'm not. It's funny how things come in and out, but he's got that crossface. He's just grinding it. I tell you what, underneath, that takes its toll energy-wise.
Well, see, there's so much focus on staying under the arms and getting the legs in and working for tilts that you get away from the crossface. But the crossface cradle series and the bundle arm where you run around the head like he's trying to do right now, those moves are still very effective moves. The great coaches can give their kids a variety of moves and give them a menu to pick from, and then the kids on the team will identify what they like, and obviously he likes that crossface series.
End of the first period, 2-0 for Starzik, and that, yes, riding high like that is definitely a Starzik trademark.
Well, I tell you what, if I had arms like that could wrap around my opponent 3 times, I'd probably use some of those too. The stub of your arms don't get those crossface cradles or crossface positions quite so easily.
He does have unordinarily long arms. He looks like kind of like Cale Sanderson. I wonder if he's good at the ankle pick too.
Well, Kratovil hits the switch right off the whistle, and it's 2-2. And it looks like he's going to cut him.
He don't want to mess around with him on the mat.
He does. 3-2 now for Starzik.
Starzik won that last scramble. Last time they went at it, Starzik somehow found a way to come on top.
Early second period here, 125-pound final, one of our feature matches of the night. Third weekend in a row, these two have met, and the throw by Starzik, and it's 5-2.
That was a really nice action by Starzik. He got an underhook in there and just tossed him by.
Yep, he went from there and ended up with the 2-on-1, got him down the mat. And look at that scramble.
You know what? Kratovil really knows where to go when he's down on the mat. He scrambles extremely well. You were talking about that earlier, Rob.
Well, yeah, Kratovil is a great mat wrestler as well, and he's very comfortable in that position, and he has the 2 for the reversal. It's 5-4, under a minute left in the second period, but people forget how good on top Kratovil is as well.
Well, right now I think Kratovil's hoping for a stalemate because he's real high. He wasn't going to get out of there on his own, so he got a little bit of help with the ref with that stalemate so he can get a fresh start.
50 seconds left to go in the second period. Still 5-4 for John Starzik of Providence, the 2-time state champion. And, well, right off the whistle, he just let Kratovil throw that leg right back in there. And now the other one. And a potentially dangerous. Now 39 seconds left.
I'm gonna lobby a little bit for a rules change. When the way the rules work, when the wrestler underneath comes up, the wrestler on top can throw legs in, and if the wrestler underneath keeps coming up, he gets called for stalling or unsportsmanlike conduct. And my feeling is, hey, the guy on top is the one supposed to put the guy underneath back down to the mat. I'd like to see him change that ruling.
Now under 20 seconds left to go in the second period. Kratovil with the leg in. Starzik stands up, another potentially dangerous. 11 seconds left to go.
See, my way of thinking is, hey, if that guy underneath can stand up, then it's up to that guy on top to pull his leg out and put him back to the mat. It's his responsibility from every other position to get the guy from underneath back down to the mat.
Nice change in strategy there. Instead of sticking with the legs, he decided to grab a single leg on the way up. And very good tactics for the ride out.
Yeah, nice short time move there as he closes out the second period. And now Starzik will start on the bottom for the third, and Kratovil will cut him. It's 6-4.
Okay, Kratovil has to get that elusive takedown. So far, he's done all the scoring on the mat. It's time for a takedown, or he won't be winning this match.
Well, I can tell you, he's going to have to strike fast and clean because all that length he has going against him with Starzik being so long, he's got to finish clean.
This is the second of our finals so far tonight, matching 2 wrestlers, both nationally ranked. Starzik number 7, Kratovil number 20. The 103-pound match featured 2 top 10 wrestlers. And 5 out of our 8 finalists have been nationally ranked so far. So we got a real elite group of guys here. Under a minute 20 now. And Kratovil in on the outside single. Trying to swing.
Okay, he's got to get the left hand of the ankle. He's got to get down on that ankle.
Starzik kicked out of it.
Okay, we still got a minute. He waited too long to go there. What do you think, Mark? I mean, once he went for it, he got it, but he's waited like 40 seconds to get in. Now he's backing up.
I thought he was going to be able to come up with it fairly quickly. All I can figure is that Starzik did a good job of keeping pressure going forward, more so than we could tell up here. Well, Kratovil's really on the attack now. He's on that leg again. Now he's coming up with it.
Starzik trying to counter with that quarter Nelson on the front side. Boy, Kratovil still pressing the issue.
Incredible. He's pinned.
Wow.
Kratovil stopped.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness.
I tell you what, Starzik has some pressure on those Wizards that we just don't see from up here. There's no other way to figure how that happened.
That was strange. He looked extended. See, Kratovil didn't get the angle on that single at all. He let him run that front quarter too hard.
He just relaxed for a second.
I think Kratovil figured he was off the edge, and
I think he thought he was. I think you're right, Mark. I think he thought he was off the edge.
Bad news. Bad news for Kratovil.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the late 5-point move gives John Starzik his third state title. What a finish.
Well, that was a great match, and the final score isn't going to be indicative of how close that match was.
Well, we're going to take a brief time out to deal with some housekeeping, and we'll be back very quickly. This is the state championship finals, Class AA on IllinoisMatmen.com.
The most eagerly anticipated wrestling movie in years is finally here. 7 minutes starring the wrestling recaps Jeff Harrison and former WWE superstar Hawk Youngkins. Act now when you can see this world premiere movie Saturday, June 9th at the beautiful Arcada Theater in downtown St. Charles. To learn more, visit www.7minutesmovie.com or www.myspace.com/7minutesmovie. This 130-pound championship match is brought to you by Ken Gerdy's The Third Memorial Foundation.
Well, at 125, we saw 3 state championships between the two wrestlers coming into this match. Here at 130, we see 2 first-time place winners here in the finals. This is Neil Lopez of Naperville North in the navy and orange singlet, and Zeke Rowan, our second of our 3 finalists from Mount Carmel, in the brown. Lopez, the first of 2 finalists from Naperville North. They only had 2 wrestlers here. They both made the finals, and a couple of Plainfield Central wrestlers both made the finals, and they only had 2. So neither of those programs has lost a match here all weekend. They go off the edge. Minute 12. Arts left in the first period, no score.
And Mount Carmel and Sandburg has had a great state tournament. They've got 3. Each team has 3 finalists, and this weight class 130 was full of upsets all for the whole tournament. We've got Lopez, who is ranked 5th in the state, coming in, and Rowan, who is ranked 8th in the state, coming in. So they upset a lot of good wrestlers to get here, and for 2 seniors that have never placed before, what a way for them to have a chance to finish up their high school careers.
Well, that was really the first mistake that Neil Lopez has made on his feet in this entire tournament. Rowan just hipped him over for that takedown.
Yeah, he paused for just a second. Lopez hesitated for a split second, and gosh, Rowan really ran him over. It was great use of his hips. Most athletes just sprawl back and run away, kind of like Ramos. I mean, to Ramos' credit, he was great on his feet offensively, but defensively, he just ran his legs back, whereby in this case, Rowan did a good hip hop and ran him right over, caught Lopez on his haunches, and scored that big takedown.
Yeah, you don't see as much of it as you could, and a little bit more of it in college, but running them over with those hips, like you say, is a nice change of pace, nice change of direction. There it is again, exactly the same move. Exactly the same thing.
The hip hop.
You know what? He waited for Lopez to reel those hips in, and by the time he reeled it in, he didn't finish and hit the corner quick enough, and Rowan just ran right over him. That really strong hips.
Good timing, too. Takedown at the end of a period. He's going to get this right out. It's so key in these big matches that if you get on top, you finish the period on top,
Boy.
and if you end up on bottom.
And that's demoralizing, taking both shots and winding up on the short end of a 4-1 score.
Yeah. And now he's going to go down. He's going to work hard and run it up to 5-1. The Mount Carmel coaches were urging him to get down. Hey, Mount Carmel, rich tradition in wrestling. Bill Wick built that powerhouse up there. The Harvey Twisters have been on the circuit for so many years, developing a lot of kids that have gone to that program. They've just got such rich tradition, and now the new coaches are carrying on that tradition, obviously with 3 state qualifiers. He's doing a great job.
Well, we'll see what Lopez could do on top here once again. A wrestler who's really been on the upswing these last 3 or 4 weeks, and you remember what a clinic he put on his feet in the semifinal, Mark, and boy, he's going to need to make an adjustment here.
Well, yeah, I mean, really, he needs to shoot in and hit a corner. If he hasn't figured it out by now, he's in trouble. He cannot shoot straight on and pull straight in. He's got to hit a corner.
I agree. You can't get in there and stop. He's been getting in there and pausing. Now, he is doing a really good job on top now, 40 seconds of ride. Mount Carmel's got to get pressure back. He's just got to pressure back and cut off. He hesitated too much.
Minute 10 left in the second period. Still 4-1 on the 2 first period takedowns for Zeke Rowan, but Lopez looking pretty strong on top here, and he's wearing Rowan down a little bit.
So far, what we've seen from Owen is he's completely a counter wrestler. We haven't seen an offensive shot from him yet. So,
well, he's going to be good in this position. He's got those hips. This is where he wants to be.
Now, well, Lopez turned the corner that time and got an angle on him.
I'll tell you what, Rowan's gassed a little
There's
bit.
There's some fatigue going on here.
Yeah.
I think if it was fighting for a takedown, he would have gone harder, but he just kind of, I'll go back down. But not good strategy. He should have got his escape. There he's got his one. Boy, it looked like a little fatigue there from Lopez. He let up because 30 seconds left. That's not when you want to let the guy go.
Down to 25 seconds now.
That's tough. That's now 3 of Rowan's 5 points have come with 30 or fewer seconds left on the mat. That's tough. That's just mentally so hard to fight through and just ignore and keep wrestling.
This could change. This could be the match right here. He needs this takedown.
Down to 10 seconds, and Lopez trying to turn the corner. He can't do it.
Oh, he's gonna want the 2 now, and he does. Another takedown with time running out. Boy,
my goodness.
5 of his 7 points have been with 30 or fewer seconds left in the match. And you know what? Lopez has done so much of the work. Rowan's done so much of the scoring.
Yeah, he's squirrely. He's good tactics, and you got to be able to score at the end of the periods. And he kept wrestling through. Did a really good job here. But as I was saying earlier, Bill Wick, the coach at Mount Carmel, they've built that rich tradition, and a number of the private schools in Chicago areas have done very well. Wick was a tough coach. He was one of our Olympic coaches. When I was in the Olympic team, they surround you with a lot of coaches, and Bill Wick was one of the guys that committed a lot of time and effort. He was always seeking to better himself, always looking to get around other serious wrestlers and coaches. And he was a very hard-nosed coach. Pushed us, paid good attention to detail. I was glad that I had the opportunity to learn from Bill Wick.
I don't want to give away any secrets, but Bill Wick was one of the coaches of an Illinois All-Star team back when I was a high school senior. And that's going back 35 or 37 years ago. He was one of the coaches then.
Does that make Bill old, you old, or me old?
Boy, I think we're all getting to that point now.
Now, I was a young pup. I was the youngest guy in that Olympic team, just for the record. Yeah, Bill's impacted a lot of people. Coach Wick's had a great impact on wrestlers and coaches throughout Illinois, as well as our freestyle, Olympic and world teams.
Under a minute left to go now in this match, and boy, it has just been total domination by Zeke Rowan, and I'm really stunned at this. How Neil Lopez looked so good for 3 rounds, and he has just not gotten anything going here at all, and I'm as surprised by that as he escapes to make it 7-2 as I am by the fact that Zeke Rowan got to this point.
Zeke Rowan came to wrestle in this tournament. He was focused throughout. He rose to the occasion. He's very composed, not real flashy, but just really hard to score on. Great hips, just good position.
Well, he showed it making the Dvorak finals. and shot not taken.
Well, I'll take this last 10 seconds to give a shout out to Jason Erwinski, the new head coach at Mount Carmel. Northwestern boy. He's been coaching in the high school ranks for a couple of years and took over his alma mater, and what a tournament he's had with his kids.
2 state champions for Mount Carmel in the first 5 weights as Zeke Rowan by a score of 9-2.
It was the best thing I've ever had in my life. Worked hard, finally paid off.
Being a Grand Marshal is the highest honor because you get it because of your peers vote on you. And I'm talking about the coaches. I'm talking about other officials in the wrestling community throughout the state of Illinois and what you've accomplished and contributed. But you don't do it alone because you have everybody else helping you. Coaches help you. Table help you. Parents help you. And you got to always remember we're here for the kids. We want to do everything to make the call right for the kids.
This 135-pound championship match is brought to you by Top Gun Freestyle Team, Illinois' #1 freestyle club.
Strategy is keep attacking, and what I've been doing all day, yesterday. Same thing, low singles, high practice, whatever I see this open, I take it.
8 seconds, we've only had 1 takedown attempt here.
Let's get it on, boys. Let's get it going.
Well, it was last year as a junior. I wasn't really ready going against Kennedy. A lot of people didn't really give me a chance at all. I just figured it was a chance to go out there and prove myself and get my name out there. This year, my goal from the start was to win it. I wanted to be back in there. It makes you hungry when they turn the lights off and you walk out of the tunnel. So you just want to get back there again. Once the finals is over, you want to keep working, so that's what I did. Started working right after the finals last year.
It's good and bad. I think wrestlers' point scores would be higher if we couldn't scout each other. But now with videotape, there's so much scouting that goes on. You're able to better anticipate what's going on. So let's see if we can get some action here. We're back in action here with 1:15 to go in the first period.
Well, it looks to me like Lloyd wants to get going, but he is really nervous of Prater's length and power, and Prater is doing a good job of tying him up. So this has not been as firepowered of the first period as I might have anticipated.
Well, for sure, Lloyd is going to have to use his quickness here, and he's looking for a chance to use that because Prater does definitely have that reach advantage as we go under 45 seconds in the first period and no score. Prater is no stranger to the low-scoring match as he gets the whizzer in. Nice shot by Lloyd. And, almost finished it. Nothing yet.
There it is. Okay, that was a tough finish on Lloyd's part. That was a nice job because it looked to me like Prater was going to snake out on him.
Another takedown with short time left in the period. This is going to be a great 20 seconds. Let's see if #1 ranked guy in the state, Ryan Prater, can get his butt moving on bottom and get this critical point in the last 20 seconds of the period.
I think that's a jump on Red. Yeah, that's a jump on Lloyd.
Despite the false start, nice takedown. He changes sides. He lined up on the right and jumped to the left. Now he's going back to the left. Let's see if he sticks with that. I think he will. He picks the ankle. Nice inside switch. Countered well, though.
I think if he had his druthers, he would. I really don't think he wants to be on the mat with
Prater is not a guy you want to ride when the match is on the line. He'll be very happy to be leading 2-1 going to the second period. I can guarantee you that.
Wow, I tell you what, now here's some action that we were anticipating coming in. I'm looking for a fun 4 minutes left.
Yeah, Prater's ticked. I mean, he's angry that he got taken down. He moved good. Let's see if he keeps that pace.
Prater defers. Lloyd will start down. Lloyd leads 2-1.
I have one piece of advice. Lloyd, come up, get out now.
That was advice that would be well taken considering Prater's prowess on top. He does tripod out of there.
Prater is longer than Lloyd, and he just looks like he likes being down on the mat. Okay, nice job by Lloyd.
Got out easily.
He turned in, and he has Prater's leg. He can take this for a reversal instead of an escape. Of course, I don't think it matters because even if he gets a reversal, he's just going to turn him loose. Uh-oh, he had a chance for one, and he didn't take it.
Now, if they stalemate there, it would be interesting to see if they give him a 1-point escape. I would. I think they're neutral.
I would agree with you, but so far they have not made any call.
Yeah, this is going to be a stalemate, but I would give the guy an escape. I felt that he escaped and then took a shot. But they're not going to call that. They're going to put him back on bottom.
Wow.
I don't see that called a lot here. They may do it elsewhere. I think the call there is no loss of control, although you could certainly make the case for one.
Yeah, I'll make that case. I'm looking at the national wrestling. I'm all over the country watching wrestling. Most of the time, that was a great step over.
Oh, there's a nice
good
step
scramble.
over.
This is a good scramble on Lloyd's part. He needs to get out. He needs to get out because I don't think he wants to spend another minute underneath there.
The crab ride is back in now for Ryan Prater. Under a minute to go here in the second period.
Wow. This is a lot of energy being used by Lloyd when he could have been out already.
Well, he's got the 2-on-1 now, does Prater.
That's going to turn out, that could be a big tactical error as this match goes on, because even if he doesn't get turned here, he's using up a lot of energy that he could have saved for the third period. Not to mention the 1 point.
Prater is still with the 2-on-1. Under 30 seconds to go now, and a stalemate is called. 26 left to go in the second period. Prater looking for a ride out, maybe more.
Lloyd has got to come up. He's got to come up and turn inside like he did before.
The tripod's nice, but he's got to get his hips out. Oh, he's trying to step over.
Oh boy.
That's a position.
Was a bad idea.
That's a position, though, that Prater over the years has shown he's so comfortable in, and
short time. 8 seconds left.
This is tough.
No change of control. He should go to the Peterson side. He's going the wrong way.
Oh boy, what a scramble! What a scramble! That's no. They're not going to give him the escape.
Nope. Oh, wow. He managed to keep locked in the crotch, and he got the ride out.
He's going to really wish he had that point that he didn't take when he had the chance for a reversal and did not take the escape early in that second period. Well,
and second caution on Lloyd. He's got to be careful now.
I tell you what, if I'm Lloyd, I'm cutting him loose right now and going on the feet.
Oh, I think you have to. He is not going to beat him on the mat. He's just not going to.
And he's already gotten 2 cautions. So
there you go.
He effectively cut him loose there just by letting go on the first move.
That was a nice snap down. Let's see if he can convert. Nice. Nope, he's not going to get it. Not enough combination there.
Prater
went straight underneath again. Couldn't get there.
Almost had a heel pick. Couldn't quite pull it in.
Sucker drag. Oh, he got overzealous.
Oh, Lloyd's got the bear hug. Prater has the
still got the whizzer.
Still got the whizzer position. Classic position wrestling. As you remember, Mark, NCAA champion for Northwestern, Jack Griffin was great with the seatbelt series. He'd get that underhook and go across the back.
Yes, he
was.
On
a future Olympian, Zeke Jones, exactly the right time in his career.
Yep, NCAA champion for Northwestern. Jack Griffin, Illinois native, state champion here down in Champaign. Nice single leg shot.
He's got to finish, though. Prater has shown he's tough to finish on.
Took the shot and he stopped.
Oh, that's funky. That's unique counter.
Now, stepping across like that's pretty odd.
And he got back to his feet.
Seatbelt again. Can he step in there? He's looking a little bit tired.
He's looking tentative too.
Minute 5 left to go here.
You know what,
Jack? Still 2-2.
Oh, what a! Well, you talked earlier about hitting arm drags from different positions, and he just about finished with that.
Yeah, he almost hit the McElravy drag there. Boy, he doesn't convert that seatbelt aggressively enough, though. He's too tentative. You know, Griffin, he works my camps in Chicago, and he's really talking to kids about when you get the seatbelt, you got to suck the hip in and pull him to you. If you let him get stretched out, it's no good. So you got to really use that arm to pull, to get hip to hip. And he's letting too much space. Lloyd is giving too much space between the hips.
Both these guys looking a little tired now as we tick down to 40 seconds. A little surprised about that with Prater, quite frankly.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Both of these guys are fatigued, and they're both nervous of what the other one has to offer.
Gut check here. Gut check.
Now a stall warning against Lloyd.
Nice single. Oh, whizzer cross ankle pick. He tried. Boy, Prater is funky with that ankle pick.
Lloyd is in, and Prater has
still has the whizzer.
Prater is so tough with that.
Still has the whizzer.
So tough with that whizzer, and I don't think Lloyd's going to be able. I don't think Lloyd's going to be able to seatbelt him. I think Prater's just too long and wide.
He's got to have other techniques from the seatbelt, though. He needs the limp arm. He needs to have a step-over tactic.
We have 11 seconds left to go. Now 10, 9. Lloyd in again on the leg. Prater again with the whizzer. 3, 2, 1. Can he limp arm out? He cannot.
Okay.
We're going to overtime.
Sudden victory. Let's see who's got the guts and technique when they're tired.
1 minute goes on the clock.
And these two guys are fatigued. There's no question about it. So you're right. This is definitely gut check time.
See, I'm disappointed. You got to be tireless. These guys are standing around catching their breath for 10 seconds. This is a chance you seek sudden death to break your opponent. If you believe you've outworked your opponent, you get in his face and you wear him down and you break him. These guys have taken the last 20 seconds off.
Half shot without a setup there for Lloyd. Stopped easily by Prater.
Well, you got to figure.
35 seconds left.
Oh, bad, not a good idea there. That was a terrible tactic. That was sloppy. Nothing yet.
Prater.
They got to give a chance to scramble here. There's going to be a big scramble.
Scramble
Nothing yet.
Got to get his leg out. Got to get the leg out.
Let him keep wrestling. Let him keep wrestling.
What a scramble. What a scramble.
Nothing yet. They're still going at it.
Oh, man, that's one of the best scrambles we've seen tonight.
Both
guys could have scored takedowns about 5 different times on there, and it goes to Prater at the very end on the edge with 10 seconds left.
That's what you got to do. Never stop wrestling.
What a finish to a tough match.
Somehow Prater reached in for the single, switched off to the double. He had Lloyd. You think the greatest scramble you have ever seen in a state final match. It's nothing compared to what we just saw here.
Both guys were on the verge of takedowns about 3 different times in that scramble. What a finish.
The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat.
I knew he's a tough kid, he's a warrior. I've never been this tired before in my life. I thought I was going to run out of breath there. But I don't know, my heart just got too big of a heart to quit. It wouldn't let me quit, so I knew he was going to come with those doubles. I just wanted to use my scrambling abilities on the ground, keep that hard whizzer. They got a pretty good whizzer. I was trying to beat it out, but he was just too strong. I was trying to come with what Hutter always got me with, beat the arm around the front headlock, so couldn't get it on him, so I didn't want to shoot that ankle because I didn't know how fast he was, but he's a tough kid.
This 140-pound championship match is brought to you by Marion Catholic High School Wrestling Program.
Here we go with 140. State champion Conrad Poles of Carl Sandburg, and right out with a takedown is the wrestler he faced in the finals last year. This a finals rematch, Jeremy Ellingwood of Plainfield Central.
And Ellingwood, last year's runner-up, is the #1 ranked wrestler this year. This is another one of our matchups of #1 versus #2. Poles has been ranked 2nd most of the year, with Ellingwood ranked 1st.
Well, this is a great example of champions coming in pairs. I mean, Ryan Prater and Jeremy Ellingwood are in the wrestling room banging and scrapping every day. You got to figure Ellingwood's a heck of a scrambler because he's in there with Prater wrestling all the time and getting after it. So let's see if he can keep pace and come back like Prater did. Prater gave up the first takedown also. If you remember, Curtis Lloyd got the takedown, but it was mostly Prater from then on out.
Well, you're right about that. And Conrad Poles, his teammate, is in the finals at the next weight up. So you're right about these guys having each other to beat on in the practice room.
There's no doubt about it. You're only as good as the people around you, and the great ones elevate their training partners and pull them along with them and help them get better. Boy, he's got to go to his right hip and slip his head out. He needs to commit. He's staying square. If he would drop to his right hip and slide his head out, he'd get that takedown. He wasn't brave enough to do that.
These guys, of course, do have a history. Poles won in overtime last year in the state finals. They've split 2 matches this year. Ranked number 14 and 15 nationally, so 2 more nationally ranked guys here in our final at 140.
Ellingwood is the senior, Poles is the junior. So, oh
and
boy.
The barrel roll by Poles.
Oh, there's some back points there too for Poles. Oh, he's got him tight. He's got him
goodness.
tight. Ellingwood is in serious trouble.
Oh, what a
3-2.
What a bridge.
3-2 and 3 near fall points coming, and there they are at 6-2. 15 seconds left. Poles still got the half.
You know what? There's not that many guys in this tournament that could have bridged out of that back position.
He scrapped hard. That was an impressive effort getting off his back. You got to love that takedown right to the back. He pulled the arm tight and converted it. I love that takedown. That personally for me brings back memories of high school. I used that particular takedown to win my first state championship. It was like a thrill of a lifetime. You know, these here in Champaign, these guys are making memories of a lifetime. You know, you get to college and it's fun and it's challenging. And I wrestled internationally a lot, but ultimately I would say the most intensely satisfying feeling for me personally as a competitor was winning my first high school state championship.
Well, and part of that is the newness too. You know, of course some of these guys have been wrestling for 10 years, but nonetheless, this is this kind of a stage. It's the first time you're on this kind of a stage with this kind of a crowd. It's fun.
Yeah, it's what you grow up dreaming about. As I coach young athletes, you know, through Pee Wee wrestling, the goal is to develop your skills and have fun with it. There's so much pressure on these guys to win when they're 8 and 10 and 12. It's crazy. You just got to go out there and have fun and wrestle, because ultimately your goal is to come here to the state finals and be able to rise to the occasion and have fun in front of all the fans. And it should be something you get excited about and have fun doing, not something you feel nervous and hold back doing.
Right. Even if you've wrestled for 10 years in the kids division, you don't get to show up in front of all of your friends with 10,000 people watching. I mean, this is great. Poles is starting to put on a clinic now. He's really coming after him on his feet. With that escape, he's got a 7-2 lead, and he's right back active, back in on Ellingwood. Hasn't popped up in the air.
Minute 10 left in the second period, as now we find Poles in that same situation that he couldn't convert on in the first period, and a stalemate is called with 1:03 left. They met in the Downers North sectional. We've mentioned that sectional a lot tonight. Last week, and Poles got out to a big early lead, and the match wound up, I believe, 15-8. Ellingwood won the first match between the two this year, 5-4 in the finals of the Dvorak. And as it turned out, that match cost Carl Sandberg a share of the team title, which was won by Montini, and they go out of bounds with 40 seconds left to go. So we'll see if Poles can keep up the pressure that he showed in the sectional final last year, and Ellingwood eventually got back into the match a little bit at the end.
Boy, he went for that outside fireman's carry again, and Ellingwood stopped him cold turkey that time, but that's the difference in the match so far, that one nice move.
Well, I think most people know that Poles' coach is his dad for the Sandberg high school team, but they may not know that the other coach in the corner is his grandpa. So that's kind of fun to see 3 generations out there on the corner and in the center of the mat.
Well, you see, that's awesome. Wrestling truly is a family sport. I've been covering wrestling nationally for CSTV this year, and as we're trying to promote wrestling on television and try to get more non-wrestling fans to follow the sport, one of the storylines we talk about a lot is how it is a family sport, how you grow up on the circuit together, and you look at the Trellas from Michigan and the Simmonses from Michigan State and the Sieberts from Illinois. These guys, Siebert's obviously been a different era, and these guys are guys that have just grown up together, battling out. Now, right now, the freshman in Illinois whose brother just graduated. Guys, you with me, Rob? There's the
Carapellis.
Yeah, they're obviously a great brother family.
3 brothers there.
Yeah, but there's a family in Illinois. The one just graduated, one's a freshman in Illinois. They both wrestle here for U of I.
Well, gee, they don't wear purple. I'm gonna have a hard time remembering.
Go
that.
Wildcats! I gotta give some. I love the Wildcat wrestlers. Tim Szewski does a great job there with that program, and one of their best guys is one of my favorites from Pennsylvania, Jake Herbert, longtime camper of mine. He's doing great, #1 ranked in the country right now for the Wildcats. And I was talking earlier, Mark, about Preeson, how he's filled out, matured. He used to come to camp with Morrison. Morrison was a little tykey guy, and so was Preeson. Preeson's obviously got in the weight room, and he's really having a great, true freshman year, doing an awesome job.
He is doing a good job. He's something like about 25-12 right now. So, and he's had a typical freshman year in that he's lost some matches he shouldn't have, but he's also beat some ranked kids that nobody expected him to.
Look at that counter.
Wow. I tell you what, Ellingwood was in deep, and Poles, he just pulled that out. That was beautiful.
Poles has really good balance there. He did a nice job keeping his composure and continuing to wrestle. But coming back to Wildcats, I'm real familiar with the program, and I'm following it more closely now because of Prieston and Herbert, and also Lang and Tamalillo. Those are kids that I know from my camps. They've been at it for a decade. They just keep improving and keep getting better. And something else I like about them is they're serious student athletes. They take their schoolwork seriously. They've been hitting the books hard. They had lots of opportunities to go to different schools, and they all chose to go to a real challenging academic school and are continuing to work hard. Those are the kind of kids that are going to be really successful in life.
Well, and you know what? What's really interesting about this sport is you just named 4 kids who, could be right up there nationally this year, or could be All-Americans, and their styles are all different from each other. That's what's just so much fun about this sport. You name 4 great kids, and their 4 styles are all different, and they're all successful with it.
And that's to Tim's credit there. He's able to develop these kids and help them get to the next level. You can't try to make everybody wrestle the same way. That's one of the mistakes John Smith made early in his coaching career. As we all know, John Smith, a great competitor. Well, let's get back here to the action, Rob. Pulls, champion.
That was a fine match in terms of his positioning and his countering. He did a great job, and he was ready to go at the right time.
Check. Okay. We're going to take a short break here. We'll be right back.
This 145-pound championship match is brought to you by Bill Burris and Jim McFedrin.
Cusick ranked number 16 nationally, by the way. Mark?
Our Sandberg wrestler at 103 came out a little bit tentative, but our Sandberg wrestler Poles at 140, he came out ready to wrestle. So we'll see how our third Sandberg guy is here.
Well, Duffy right in on the shot, but Cusick just ripped the arm right off, and freight trined him.
Just overpowered him. I tell you what, that's disconcerting on Duffy's part. He makes a nice shot, and he just got steamrolled right over it.
Well, you look at Cusick has really come out aggressively, trying to finish that one. It looks like he has.
There's a second takedown.
Oh my goodness! Nope. Wow. Yes, now they're going to give it. Okay. That was definitely 2.
Yeah, he was certainly in his feet were certainly in
bounds. Good conference there, and they got the call right. It is 4-1, and I think Cusick is really tired of wrestling close matches against Duffy. You think he wants to put some distance between Duffy and himself here?
Well, we've seen him overpower him with a counter. We've seen him overpower him with an offensive takedown, and now we see him up high.
He had
him on top for a turn.
He had the arm bar in, and now some injury time for Duffy. 56 seconds left in the first period.
Well, you're right, Rob. Cusick looks like he's got it in his head that this is not going to be a close match where I could possibly lose by a referee's decision or by an unfortunate move. It looks like he's just wants to put the hammer down.
Well, Duffy with the stand-up, and Cusick brings him right back down. Now goes to the tight waist, looking for a tilt maybe. Doesn't get it. 44 seconds left in the first period.
Well, Cusick is the senior and Duffy is the junior. Duffy will have another shot at this next year, but Cusick looks like he wants to go out without any doubts.
4-1. 37 seconds left in the first period as Duffy goes back down. You're watching the 145-pound championship match. Caution against Cusick.
Well, there's 30 seconds left, and Duffy really needs some score here if he's going to stay in this match. Even though it's still relatively close, 4-1, Cusick has just been in complete control so far.
Yeah, Cusick really has come to wrestle aggressive, using the energy of his teammate to jump out there and really take charge and dominate the entire period.
10 seconds left to go now.
They just
said Cusick had a full Nelson, so that's a penalty point, and it's 4-2.
I'd like to have a rewind button right now. That's quick.
Well, I didn't see it, but we weren't sitting in quite the right position, so that is a point. That's a fortunate point for Duffy. As long as his shoulder's still healthy, it wouldn't be very fortunate otherwise.
6 seconds left in the first period.
You know what? Duffy physically looks completely overmatched right now. I mean, he's a strong kid, and
Yes, he
Duffy
is
a strong kid, and he looks like he's being thrown around.
Does look like a 40-pounder against a 45-pounder, doesn't it?
Now, Rob, did you mention earlier you think you know where Cusick's going to school next year?
Yeah, he's going to Virginia Tech, as is one of our finalists at 189, DJ Bruce.
Who's coaching there now that they're recruiting this nicely in the Chicago or in the Illinois area?
Well, Kevin Dresser's the new man, and of course he made quite a reputation as a high school coach in that area, and showed from the very beginning he knows how to recruit. I know he made getting some kids from the Chicago area a priority of his, and he's made good on that.
Well, for the fans listening to this, Cusick just scored a reversal starting about 40 seconds into the second period, so he has a commanding 6-2 lead. And quite normally you wouldn't call a 6-2 lead commanding, but he's in complete control of this match.
Haven't seen any indication that Duffy's been able to get anything going here so far. Halfway through the match.
Okay, that's a good escape for Duffy to come up here, cut the lead. It's 6-3, and right now, guys, this match is going to come down to, can Duffy get a takedown?
Oh, sucker!
Duffy.
Nothing yet, though.
Duffy had the front headlock, and Cusick did a real nice job dragging out of there.
That's not a takedown yet. He should duck his head under the calf. No takedown. Cusick wanted the call, but it wasn't deserved. He needed to get his hips more of an angle and get his leg back.
32 seconds left in the second period.
Back on their feet in the center. Well, Cusick's the one that can afford to be a little bit conservative now, and he's still pressing the action.
Yeah, he's squirrely. See how he faked right, went left? That was nice. See if he can convert with the bear hug.
This match is over. Takedown with 15 seconds left. That takes Cusick up 8-3, and this is not a close 8-3 score.
How about that confidence? He went in there. He had no problem just juking one side, hitting the other. No problem.
20 seconds left. He's still firing.
Duffy will take down as we start the third period. Cusick is ahead 8-3. It's kind of like if you're Duffy, what do you do?
Well, at this point, Duffy, if he has a reversal that can take a man to his back, or if he has a takedown that can take his man to his back, he's going to have to get one of those two in. Because he's not going to be taking Cusick down 3 or 4 or 5 times in the last period.
Cusick's feeling really confident there. I mean, he's got a 5-point lead, and he let him go. I mean, the conservative way to approach that is just to beat the guy up on top and finish yourself, working for the safe fall as a state champion. But he puts himself, if Duffy had a big throw, he could be, in danger.
Well, if Duffy does, we should be seeing it in the next 30 or 40 seconds, because there's no point in not throwing it. I mean, who cares if you lose by 4 or 8?
Yeah, boy, he does a good job of faking one side, attacking the other.
He really does. He changes directions nicely.
Duffy's lost his intensity. He almost got in there, but nice pick. He's nice snap and spin.
Yeah, there's snap, spun around, 10-4.
He's broken him now,
and that is the match. Yeah, Duffy knows it too.
One of the things that that Duffy has been good at the entire year is keeping matches close and winning the close matches. He just doesn't have the arsenal at this point to come from behind, especially a 10-4 score against a wrestler who's obviously the best in the state at this weight class.
Yeah, he knew the match was over about 20 seconds ago. He almost had a takedown. He was just about snagged a heel pick. He didn't quite get it, and he just kind of punched the mat like, darn it, I need those kinds to get back in the mat, and it just wasn't going to happen. 40 seconds left. This is just a countdown now to Cusick's state title.
Just about 30 seconds left now, and boy, Matt Cusick is really riding tough on top. He takes Duffy out No loss of control indicated.
All right, so it looks like Sandberg's going to go 2 for 3 with their finalists, and so far Mount Carmel has 2 champs out of their 3 finalists, but they still have their 3rd one coming up in the upper weights. It's been a long time since somebody has, well, actually I was going to say it's been a long time since somebody's had 3 state champs, but
Sandberg had it last year.
Sandberg had 3 last year.
And I think Mount Carmel is probably likely to have 3 as well, with Brantley at 2:15, but we'll have to see. It is all over by a 10-4 score. Matt Cusick of Carl Sandburg is a 2-time state champion. Stay tuned for this special feature on 3-time state champion Albert White.
Hello, wrestling fans. I'm Andre Morgan, sometimes known as Mr. Twister, and I'm standing here at 150th and Cooper in Harvey, the home of the Harvey Twisters. This is where it all began for Albert White.
When I started wrestling in the summer of 1999, it really didn't cross my mind that I would be sitting in a position to join the greats.
Well, Albert White wasn't one of the better kids starting off, but he was one of the hardest working kids that we had in this program.
When Albert first started wrestling back in '99, I had no idea that he would have excelled the way that he did.
Originally, I wanted him to run track, but then he wanted to wrestle. But I always did think he was athletically inclined.
Well, I don't know if he's so much different as any other kid. He is just very dedicated. To come from the Harvey Twisters is an honor by itself. We'll start talking about Joe Williams, T.J. Williams, Malik Elliott, Tony Davis, Steve Williams was a very exciting mentor for Albert. T.C. Dantzler, I think Albert excels very well to even be mentioned with them guys.
Some of the wrestlers that I came up with, Travis Hammonds, Mario Morgan, Artis Lloyd, VJ, Futrell.
To have a kid like Albert White come from the Harvey Twisters means everything.
When I come back to Harvey and help out the little kids, it feels good because I'm teaching them the same thing that I was taught from the same person. It feels good when you help them out and then you see them progress. The dream of me ending my high school career would be to win my 4th state title in dominant fashion. I know what I practice for. It's motivation. If I had to describe myself in one word, it would be champ, because that's what I practice for.
This 152-pound championship match is brought to you by Overtime School of Wrestling, building champions at every level.
Okay, we're back. They're stalking the mat, and these 2 wrestlers need no introduction to each other. And White takes Roth right off the bat. You know the story. 3-time state champion Albert White of St. Rita. He's headed for the University of Illinois.
No points
He's wearing
scored.
He's wearing the dark blue. Lucas Roth of Lockport in the gold singlet.
Well, Roth definitely wants to slow White down like he did earlier, and White was having none of it. First 5 seconds ran him clear off the mat.
All you have to do is remember back to that match at the Dvorak and the throw by White, and he's already scored more points than he had in that entire match against Roth the first time, and he lets him go. It's 2-1.
White is really coming out firing. Oh, he's in deep and lifted high. Another takedown with that double.
4-1 now for Albert White. I would say that a couple of months ago, Lucas Roth got his attention.
He's fired up. He come out here ready to go. Some explosive doubles, driving, following through. Too many wrestlers get on those doubles and stop. He is just powering right through his opponent.
Well, and how many times do you see from a front head and arm, how many times do you see that throw by like that work against the top wrestlers? I mean, he just whipped it. Everything he's done so far in the first minute has been with explosive power, nothing left to chance.
Yeah, I don't think he'll keep that pace the whole match. He's come to wrestle. Ross needs to get some offense going himself and control some ties.
Yeah, we talked about this coming into the tournament. You know, Roth had a great strategy. He executed to perfection, but it's the kind of strategy that maybe you win once against Albert White. You're probably not going to do it a second time because White is going to turn it on. And as well as Roth wrestled in that match, White let him beat him. He did not. He never picked up the intensity. Roth beat him to the punch every time, whether it was on the feet or while White was on the bottom and Roth was getting the ride out. So definitely a different story here so far.
Well, White's showing a little bit of everything. He had a runoff. He had a great double. He just about had a heel pick there. I mean, he was close to a takedown with a duck under about 30 seconds ago. He's showing just about everything in his arsenal right now, and Roth just hanging on for dear life, trying to keep this down to a 2-point lead.
2-1, almost scored on another throw by, but he'll take a 4-2 lead to the second period.
You know what? I'm sure this isn't what Roth wanted to see. However, he's done a good job coming out of this with just a 2-point deficit because White was exploding all over the mat in that first period.
Yeah, if he gets escape a takedown here, he's winning all of a sudden. He's still right in the thick of things. White's going to have to keep his intensity up throughout the match.
Well, the thing about Roth is he's a very smart wrestler. He knew he was going to have to pull some other tricks out of the bag in order to beat Albert White a second time. He knew this was coming, and he knew he was going to have to do more, and he's tried to do more.
Just White cut him loose for a 1-point escape for Roth, and White just snapped him down. You know what? Roth looks completely out of his game right now. White is just everything he's doing is explosive.
Yeah, White came fired up and ready to wrestle. Albert first showed up on my radar screen at Fargo a few years back as a freshman in high school. Wow, he's got good snap, really powerful snap. He's got to keep his feet in.
There's another takedown. That makes it
8-4. My goodness.
I don't think anybody expected quite this much firepower out of White against Roth.
Because I'm telling you right now, you are missing the finals of the decade if you are not here in the Assembly Hall.
Yeah, he's come ready to wrestle. He's really fired up. And like I said, he's a year-rounder. He hit my radar when he hit at Fargo. He's in the finals, I believe, as a freshman. Is that correct, Rob?
Yes, he was. He lost by 1 point
Mitch
to
Smith,
Jeff,
right?
to Jeff Jaggers.
Jaggers? Did he wrestle
4-3 match?
Did he wrestle Mitch Smith in the finals of nationals one year?
I don't think so.
You're the guru. You would know.
No, he never wrestled cadets. He always he was in juniors as a freshman.
Well, guys, I don't know.
And he lost to Jaggers, who was a senior, and it was a 1-point match. And I believe Jaggers got a lot of outstanding wrestler votes as a result of that.
Yeah, and Jaggers went on to become a 4-time Ohio State champion. He hasn't really developed there at Ohio State. I was up last night. I was in Iowa City. I broadcast the Iowa versus Ohio State match, and Jaggers, the 4-timer from Ohio, was up against Sertzes, the 4-timer from Indiana, and Sertzes came to wrestle and really took it to Jaggers and did a good job.
Wow.
So it looks like White's going to be another one of these special 4-timers. He's got the
exactly.
Now I know the Williams brothers have been 4-timers. I'm not intimately close to the history of Illinois wrestling. There's been others besides Joe and T.J. Williams.
Well, we have a chance to make it 10 if White and Benfield were both to win tonight.
So we got 8 so far from Illinois.
Yes.
8 4-time champions.
And White, with a couple of seconds left in the second period, is one period away from making it number 9. He leads 8-5
well, I don't
as
know,
we go to the third.
I don't know how Roth is going to get back into this match because he had the choice in the second period and chose under. And I don't know if he would had any prayer of turning White, but he's not going to have that option.
Well,
right
White is saying to Roth, if you can take me down if you can win the best phase of my game, you deserve to win. You beat me in my second best phase back at Christmas. You're not going to beat me in my best phase here.
Well, it's 8-5 right now, so as far as the score goes, it looks close. But well, we just had another snap.
Oh, he got to pull that ankle back in. Trying to do it.
White's close to scoring.
Can't do it.
Boy, that was a good job between Roth and that out of bounds line. That was a good job on Roth's part. But this does not look like a 3-point match right now. It looks like White's completely dominated the action.
Controlling the ties is White. Minute 10 left to go. And out of bounds. 8-5 for White. He has 4 takedowns here in the match. Really took command with 2 in the first.
Well, if Roth has a throw, it's time for it because he can't play takedown right now with White. And if he has no throws, then this match is over.
Under a minute left to go, and I have to say that even if Roth doesn't win this is a huge growing up year for him. This is a year in both the state and the national spotlight, and it's something he's going to be able to use as he goes into a senior year where he's obviously going to be heavily favored to win it.
Yeah, because he certainly looked terrific in the earlier rounds of this, including the semifinals of this tournament. But he's just up against one of those special wrestlers right now, and a special wrestler who really came to wrestle tonight.
Under 20 seconds left to go now, and White in on the single. Roth locking in the crotch. And
we're down to 10 seconds and
10 seconds. Well, he actually gave up a takedown. It's 8-7.
He gave up a takedown at the end.
Trying to high leg over. 3, 2, 1, and we have a 4-timer.
And the crowd appreciates
Albert
that match.
White striking the pose. Really wasn't that close, even though the final is 8-7. But Albert White wins his 4th state title. There is a standing ovation here at the Assembly Hall. Listen to the crowd.
Newly crowned 4-time state champ from St. Rita, Albert White, and one of the all-time legends in the history of Illinois, world team member T.C. Danster, who had a lot to do with Albert White and working with him in the offseason. First to Albert. Albert, tell us what it feels like. It looked like you wanted to make a statement tonight.
The first match, I went on my A game, Tonight I came out to wrestle.
What do you see as a future for who is now a legend in Illinois wrestling, Albert White?
I see his future being whatever he wants it to be. He's got the potential and talent to do whatever he wants to do, whether that's going to be an Olympic or World Championship. He's got the drive. He's got it. He's got it. That's the best way to describe it. He's got it.
This 160-pound championship match is brought to you by Top Gun Freestyle Team.
We have a rematch from the Glenbard North sectional here in our final, and that's Brian O'Connor from Glenbard North going against Gabe Zablooi of Lake Park.
Everything to me. I've always wanted to do it. I never got to do it in IKWF. I want to do it now. I could have done it before. I've messed up, but this year's my year.
O'Connor won the Glenbard North sectional final by a 16-8 score.
My strategy in the finals is just to hit my go-to moves and just be aggressive, offensive, never let up, always nothing to lose now.
Zablooi for revenge here, and we'll see if he gets a chance to get it. Match at 160.
These guys look pretty similar to each other in terms of that long lead build and those low stances.
O'Connor, who was 3rd in the state at 152 last year. He's signed with Northern Illinois. This is Zabloi's first time in the state tournament as they go off the edge, and he's really made the most of it. He's come all the way here to the finals.
Well, I would say when you're wrestling a guy who just beat you by 8 points the last time, you're going to want to keep this close for the period. Oh boy,
Zablooi tried the throw by, almost had it.
Fine counter on O'Connor's part.
Oh, and O'Connor, now he's scrambled into the the near side cradle here. And nothing on the scoreboard, but the referee indicating control for O'Connor. And he's got the near side cradle. Still.
Well, that's a problem because he's still got it locked up and he's behind that right leg. Boy, that's so tough on that guy underneath.
Trying to get that head in the side, and he's got him over, and he gets a count.
Well, the ref's got
Sideline.
the papers out, so as of at this point in time, he's got a 2-point near fall. I'm sure he'll try to run that back over and get a 5 count. For that extra.
2 shows the referee and the corner telling O'Connor to reload. And he does. And, boy, he had him in deep that time, and the period ended.
I tell you what,
So,
that was a great job on O'Connor's part because Zablooi was really in tight, hit a nice duck, looked like he was right there to get the takedown, and all of a sudden O'Connor turns into him, winds up with his own takedown and cradle. That was a great job countering on O'Connor's part.
So it winds up being 2-2 for O'Connor, and he'll start the second period neutral. He's ahead 4-0. There's Jim Considine and Mark Hahn giving instructions to O'Connor right in on the double. Trying to finish that, and he does as Zablooi gives it up. Now 6-0. Anchor tell him to let him go, and he does. And it's now 6-1.
That's a tough start for Zablooi when you're wrestling somebody who beat you pretty well the week before. To get in that deep on a shot and wind up being the one scored on and put on your back, that's demoralizing.
Well, hanging on to the front headlock there, trying to improve past that, and a stalemate is called, and they'll come back to the center. We're in the second period here at 160, and already 6-1, the lead for Brian O'Connor of Glenbard North. He's trying to become the second state champion for Glenbard North here tonight. Tony Ramos already won at 112.
He got in moderately deep on that shot, but no kind of setup. He just shot in quick.
Trying to come out the back door here. Can't turn into him, and the stalemate is called.
Okay, Zabloi's got to get some motion going on here or some head pounding because he is not taking O'Connor out of his stance, and he's just not getting any kind of a decent shot off.
Sort of a half shot at a double from a long way away, and O'Connor easily stopped that. And now he's working that right arm of Zablooi with the 2-on-1. Over halfway through the second period here. Rematch of the Glenbard North sectional final, and the rematch is pretty much going the way the first one went as O'Connor loses his headgear. He'll have to readjust it, and we'll get a restart.
Well, this is tough for the Lake Park wrestler because he just doesn't have a quick enough shot from out. Just for on O'Connor, and he doesn't have anything that he's really he doesn't have a fake or a motion to put O'Connor out of position. So he just also got a little bit lucky with the time there because
another low single there by O'Connor almost turned into take down and more, but once again Zablooi saved by the buzzer, and we go to the third. And he has taken top.
Well, that's a good idea because he's not going to. It didn't appear like he was going to be able to get it done on his feet. So if he's tough on top, that makes a lot of sense to be there right now.
Didn't do it in neutral. Didn't do it on the bottom. This is his only shot at the top position.
There's a couple of famous matches in the state finals where the wrestler had to take top to have a shot at winning, and there's a couple of famous examples of the guy making the turn and the pin. So we'll see if Gage Zablooi can get that done here.
Well, now he throws in a leg.
Okay, we'll
trying
see what
to work
he's got.
Cross body.
Trying to get the bar hat in on the far left-hand side. Now he's trying to get the left arm. And you know what? O'Connor's being smart here. He's keeping his head up.
Yeah, he really is.
He's just...
And the stalemate is called.
And O'Connor is in the fortunate position to not have to score any points. All he has to do is keep himself safe.
O'Connor leads at 6-1. This is the 160-pound championship match. O'Connor wrestled a lot of the year at 152 pounds. Now here at 160, he tries try to sit out, try to shoulder roll there, and neither of them worked, but not really in trouble there as stalemate once again called. There you see Lake Park coach Todd Raymond yelling some instructions as time winds down for Zablooi here. He's running out of time.
I think his instructions were simple. Pin him. That's about
the
all
only shot he has right now.
About all I'd be able to yell right now. You got a terrific
Connor
wrestler
just
on
staying
him.
on his base.
Yeah. Connor's going to go nowhere but chest and belly down.
Zablooi had a little bit of a tilt there, but not able to get him past the 90 degrees. And final seconds ticking down here. Still 6-1 for O'Connor, and they go off the edge.
Well, O'Connor's about ready to wrap up a terrific senior year here with a state title. All he has to do is just stay on his hands and knees.
And assuming that happens, he'll be 44-4. And the optional start by Zablooi, not able to turn it into a pitting combination here, and that's it.
I tell you what,
two state champions for Glenbard North. Okay, well, coming up is the match you've all been waiting for, the final at 171. Before we go to that match, let's check in with this feature on Mike Benfield.
A kid like Mikey is just a tremendous leader. Over his 4 years, he has taken advantage of every opportunity that he's had to grow as a wrestler, both technique-wise in the weight room. So he has totally maximized, his potential. He's as complete a wrestler as you'll ever find.
Freshman year, I mean, it's been my goal all along, be one of the best wrestlers around, just try to be the best and most dominant wrestler.
A kid like Mikey is just a tremendous leader. Anytime during practice, before practice, after practice, any young kid can steal a glance over to him and see what it takes to be a champion.
I just try to help them with just little stuff. I don't try to change anything that they do. I just try to show them maybe something new that they might not know, or just little stuff like that.
The thing that I think separates Mikey from a lot of other wrestlers and from anybody really in the state is the success he's had at the national level. Being a two-time Ironman champion. He had an injury last year that was not able to compete, or he might have been a three-time Ironman champion. He's been a cadet national champion. Last year out at Fargo, he had a knee injury and, wrestled through that. We're obviously concerned about his ankle. The week of the regional, he severely sprained it. He couldn't even walk on it for 3 days. The goal was to get him to the regional and get him to advance. Last weekend in the sectional, still wasn't 100%. And this weekend as we go in, he's tweaked it again this week. And, it's one of those injuries Mike's smart enough to know, and, you can't back off at this time of the year. He's going to battle and do the best that he can this weekend.
Really, I want to try to go through state tournament without going through a whole match. I want to pin or tuck everyone. That's going to be really, really hard to do because there's some good kids there, but that's my personal goal. I want to try to do that.
Hopefully, if things work out this season, he will be the best wrestler in Illinois history.
Oh my goodness, look at this. Mike Benfield with a fireman's carry right to the back, and he's got Blandon in trouble right off the whistle. My goodness. He's posted through the crotch. He's got the head. Blandon bridging like crazy, and now Benfield still has him in trouble. There we go. Now he's readjusted. Could this be a fall? Blandon still trying to fight off. Benfield has him on his back again. He's got that cradle. This could be quite a finish. Well, now Blandon is off his back, and 3 for the near fall. Right away, it's 5-0. And now,
he still has that.
Can he turn him over again?
He's got to get that leg back.
Wow.
Back under there.
You have got to be kidding me. What a start to this match.
Good Lord.
Oh, my.
Struck, and I can't.
Oh, and he's on his back again. Another count for Benfield. And 2 more. 7-0. Oh my goodness, I thought we would have a state record pin here. They go out of bounds. Blandon is on his feet now. Wow. Oh my. What a start to this match.
Person in the gym that could have anticipated the beginning of that match.
Wow.
Well, and the problem is not only Blandon so many points down, but he's got to be fairly wrung out already just fighting off his back, because boy, he was almost pinned a couple of times there.
Well, I talked to a lot of people, Mark, who thought that Blandon maybe was the favorite in this match, and I'll tell you what, maybe Benfield heard that talk too. I think he wanted to make sure that he took control of this match right away, and not only did he do that, he almost got a lightning fast pin right there.
Well, I've had a chance to watch both young men wrestle, and they're both outstanding. So I don't know that it would have been very easy to pick a favorite. I'm not sure I could have picked one myself, but I don't think anybody would have expected that start.
What?
Wow, that's just
a first period.
Wow, and as they say, that takes so much out of you coming off your back like that.
Well, we are, believe it or not, we have somehow made it to the second period after all that, and Blandon is starting on the bottom. And Benfield looking for another cradle here, and thinks better of that.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how the last 3 minutes play out, because clearly Benfield doesn't need to do too much that's risky at this point. So the issue is, will he get a little bit conservative, or will he still try to score some more points and walk away with what would be a highly unexpected major victory?
Well, the escape by Blandon as he kicked out there makes it 7-2. And they're both back on their feet, and Blandon's got to do something here. He's down 7-2. It's certainly been a long time since he's been down in a match. So this is uncharted territory for him.
Well, and who knows if he's ever been this far down in a match. I mean, you could probably make a case that he may never have been.
Certainly not at the high school level anyway. And a couple of half shots there. And now Benfield with a knee tap.
Well, at this point, Benfield can circle and play conservative. There's no reason for him to do anything goofy at this point. He's already quieted any crowd that there was for Richmond Burton at this point.
Well, got the over and under there, and now they separate. 7-2. The lead for Mike Benfield of Montini, and almost a lot more there early in the match.
Well, I've seen Blandon take apart some pretty high quality wrestlers on his feet, but I don't think he's going to have that kind of fun opportunity here, because as good as Blandon is on his feet, and he's very good, Benfield's just that much tougher than anybody else Blandon has seen this year. But I have seen Blandon toy with people on his feet who are darn good wrestlers. So, okay, well, here we got Benfield with his first warning.
Oh goodness, he sort of hung out there
he
on the bottom and got warned.
He wasn't in any rush to. At this point, he just can't. At this point, you just want that last minute and a half to get by.
Blandon wanted to give him the point, and Benfield almost didn't want to take it, but he does, and it's 8-2. And now, a minute left in the match, and Blandon diving in on the legs, and I think the Montini coaches are telling Benfield to pick it up a little bit.
Well, if these guys wrestled each other 10 times, maybe 8 or 9 of those matches are within a couple of points of each other. But hey, today was Benfield's day. The way he forced the action right off the get-go, and you gotta hand it to him. He came out fired up.
coming up to 5.5 minutes here. That's certainly the way it's been. He leads 8-2, and he's just less than half a minute now away from ending his career as a 4-time state champion. Stalemate there.
Well, with this little bit of time left, we talked about our prior champion heading off to Northern Illinois next year. Mike Benfield, he's heading off to Northwestern. So it's good to see. It's good to see
the
these
Wildcats there.
Oh yeah, you know, it's great to see these good wrestlers, these state champs. It's nice to see them staying in state. So.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and oh my! Look at this.
Oh, what a great
He didn't wait for the referee. He raised Benefield's hand himself. What a classy gesture on the part of Blandon.
Well, this match will be remembered for the first 10 seconds and the last 10 seconds.
Wow.
That fireman's carry that Benfield hit, and Blandon raising his hands at the end of the match.
There he gets a hug. He is a 4-time state champion. Only 10 wrestlers in Illinois history have been able to say that.
And I said to my producer, he's very focused tonight. Was I right?
Yeah, you're right. I want to win this match. I want to be 4-time. Saw Albert do it. That got me going real good, and I wanted that.
Talk to me about the really classy move that he did at the end with 3 seconds left.
Oh, it was awesome because there's really nothing he could do with 3 seconds left. He knew it. I knew it. Everyone knew it. And he decided to be a good sport about it. Respected it, and I thought that was an awesome thing.
To be a Grand Marshal is probably one of the greatest honors that I have been ever experienced in my 36 years of officiating. And it's an honor to be a part of the wrestling fraternity and to be a part of a fraternity that works with younger kids to help them develop to what they will become later on in life.
This 189-pound championship match is brought to you by A6 Wrestling.
It's even more exciting than last year because I get to wrestle my semifinal opponent again, and I know he's going to bring it, so it's going to be a good war.
Well, my go-to move is a low single, but I wrestled Ward a bunch of times, so he knows it's coming. So, I mean, I'll try it, but he knows it's coming, so it's going to be a little tougher to get. But, I don't know, double, high crouch.
Attack. Just don't let him breathe. See if I can get him really tired and just beat him with my hands.
It's revenge. It's a great feeling. It's nothing better. That's what I came here for. I came here to beat Penny. I came here to beat Ward. 2 kids beat me last year, so I feel great. Whatever gets me the win, I don't care if it's a headlock, single, double, high crouch, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's all the same if you win.
Okay, well, I don't know how we're going to follow that match at 171. That was really something, but we're going to try. This is 189, and you're looking at Jerome Ward, the defending state champion from St. Rita.
Well, I know there's some pretty good wrestlers that did not even get to the placing stands this year in this weight class. Between all the guys that were back at 189 from last year and some of the studs that came up from 171, there's some guys that are pretty darn good wrestlers that aren't even going to place. Yeah, well, I haven't seen that explosion out of Jerome Ward yet that I might have been expecting, but you know, Bruce is doing a good job of staying away or tying up when they get to touching each other. So he's doing a good job of. He needs to keep this close from the first period and get. Well, there I
single by Ward and he scores.
I just jinxed him. As soon as I say he needs to keep it close for a period, Ward's in on him. Sorry about that, Mr. Bruce.
The quickness and the athleticism of Ward striking here, as it does so often, and he leads 2-0.
Well, Bruce has got to find a way to come up from underneath him. He is a powerful man, and he's got to come up from underneath him. He needs to make sure he gets one here. Oh, boy.
He stood up, and Ward took him right back down, out of bounds.
When he turned into him, he had a chance to take one, and it looked like he was just a hair too slow on that.
Just a couple of seconds left here in the first period, and Bruce will try and get out again. Ward brings him back down again.
Oh, nice action.
Standing switch by DJ Bruce.
What a perfect time for that to tie the match up with as the clock's expiring. Couldn't ask for any better for Bruce.
Goodness.
That came at exactly the right time with no time left.
Boy,
Ward responded.
not often you see a guy of Ward's caliber giving up points like that right at the end of a period, but that could really jumpstart DJ Bruce right here.
Okay, he wants to go back on the feet. He's not even going to try and put a saddle on that horse. He's just letting him go, and we'll see if he can get a shot off. Because right now he's expended most of his energy just keeping Ward off of him. We'll see if he can get his own offense going here.
3-2. Ward leads by a point. We're here in the second period at 189 pounds. Rob Sherrill, Mark Massery.
Well, Mr. Bruce needs to, if he's going to stay on those wrists or that 2-on-1, he needs to find some offense with it.
Now Ward with the 2-on-1 on the right arm of Bruce there.
Yeah, Bruce had it just a few seconds ago. Now it's Ward's turn to try and use it. And boy, oh boy.
Which is off to the single, then the double, and can't finish any of them as they go off the edge.
Ward just about pulled him right in off the edge, but Bruce got those hips back nicely. Okay, Bruce, got to get a shot off here.
So maybe a poke in the eye there.
Well, he's trying.
Bruce is okay.
Bruce is trying to distract Ward with some touches to the head, but he's not getting Ward out of his controlled position. He's not getting an angle on him. It's going to be very difficult for him to get any kind of a useful shot off because all he's doing is stalking him and putting some hands up on the head. He has to create some motion on Ward, or he has to create some angle, and at this point he's not getting either done.
Ward is just so quick and so athletic. Boy, it's you're not going to outrun him, that's for sure. And you're not going to get it done from as far away as Bruce is right now. He's going to have to cut down that distance a little bit. But it is still only 3-2.
Well, this is right where Bruce needs to be. He's tied up. He's got to find a way to control that tie and get a shot off of there. Because you're right. I don't see him getting a high quality enough shot from out against Ward's superior quickness, or at least what looks to us like right now superior quickness.
Snap down by Bruce brought Ward in on his legs, and he had to scramble a little bit to get out of bounds. Second period is over, and now Bruce will go down. Looking to tie it up with an escape here. And he does. Ward not going to try to ride him either.
Well, that's interesting. Neither one of them wanted anything to do with the top position. They're going to have to rectify that in the coming year. Because when you get to the college level, you better be able to wrestle down on the mat.
Need to get that riding time, and certainly both these guys will probably learn how to do that. But right now, a takedown, it looks like, is going to win it. A lot of wrestling going on the edge here. And Ward trying to snatch a single.
He's in trouble. Can Ward bring it in?
Oh, he gets it. He works across to the double, and he's able to take him down.
Great snap on his part to get to that far ankle while he still had his feet in bounds. Nice finish.
Bruce tried to scramble out of that.
He did a good job of changing direction because he pulled in that upper thigh while they're on the edge, and then boom, dropped down to that same side ankle, and then got to the far wing.
Well, once again, Ward wanting no part of trying to hold Bruce down, lets him go. It's 5-4 now, and Bruce needs a takedown.
Take a seat in the awards area at this time. 171-pound award winners, please report.
Now into the final minute of the match. Bruce really needs to pick it up here.
Yeah, I was going to say, at this point, Bruce, the only way it looks like, I think that's the match. There we go. I was going to say.
And the takedown given. That's a couple times in this match, Mark, that, Bruce has tried the snap down, and Ward has countered with the dive to the legs and been successful.
I give Bruce credit because, quite honestly, he doesn't have the quickness Ward does, and I think the only shot he had at getting a takedown was to snap him and to get into a scramble. And, may try to come out on the better end of a scramble, because just in terms of being, being 2 feet away and getting a quick shot off, it's just not going to happen.
2 takedowns in the third period here have been the difference for Jerome Ward of St. Rita. And final seconds ticking down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that will do it. So Jerome Ward of St. Rita shows 2 fingers. He is a 2-time state champion in Class AA.
Great job, under control the whole time.
Jerome, tell me what's going through your mind right now.
I didn't think I'd get that many takedowns in the belt. My plan was to attack. It's just stunning right now. It just happened that fast. It just seemed like a minute ago I was warming up for the match.
Time flies when you're having fun, right?
Oh, yes.
As I said earlier, when I first got the call notifying me of the fact that I'd been selected for this honor, I started to cry. To me, it's the ultimate of being involved in wrestling as a career. I coached for a while, and then being involved as an official and helping other guys. It's like getting the Oscars.
Joe Fajiano of St. Patrick, and Ken, you're very familiar with Joe, and of course a couple of issues back in Win Magazine, he was the subject of my Q&A for that particular issue. He made it a special point, Ken, to talk about the times at your camps and how much they helped him.
Well, Joe came to camp numerous times, Wisconsin and Illinois, and he chose to stay for multiple weeks in our Super Bowl camp. And he came when he was young. He first came as a freshman. He wasn't real mature physically and mentally yet. And I feel like we pushed him and challenged him to develop more confidence and to develop more setups on his feet, to be more tenacious. And his mind and body just kept maturing. He came back again the next year, much improved, and then stepped out and won a state championship last season as a junior. So it's just a progressive thing. He made a commitment. He decided in his mind he was going to be a star and be a state champion. And I think, as he said in your article, from what I was sharing, somebody shared Win Magazine with me, I see he felt mentally it helped him step it up a notch.
Yeah, but he also talked about game plan and the winner's mentality, and as something he really picked up from you.
Yeah, he's not the fastest, most explosive athlete out there. He's gotten good from hard work. He made a commitment to getting bigger and stronger, commitment to learning the game, and wrestling smart, having good tactics. And he's going to need some great tactics. Brantley is a horse.
Yeah, Brantley's really interesting because he's built more like a heavyweight. He doesn't have that sculpted body like a Fajiano or the fellow that Fajiano beat in the semis, John Schoen. Brantley doesn't have that sculpted body, but he is sneaky powerful.
This a rematch of these two fellas wrestled for the 215-pound championship last year, as a matter of fact, and Fajiano a 3-2 winner, so they're no strangers to close matches.
What do you think for college, Rob, for Fajiano? 197 or heavyweight?
Well, I certainly think they'll start him as a 97. I mean, I wasn't sure if he had the frame for a heavyweight, but he certainly looks like he's grown a couple of inches this year.
Yeah, he's a little bit of a tweener. It's going to be tricky. Now, you might remember he's going to Indiana. I'm real excited about him. I recommended him to Mike Main, and Mike's an NCAA All-American 4 times and a 4-time Illinois state champion. Mike's the assistant coach in Indiana, and he's involved in my camp. So he's a friend of mine, and I told him Joe had the potential. He met him at camp, and he believed in him, and he told Coach Coleman, the head coach of Indiana. Coleman's a big guy, and Coleman took a liking to him. So it's going to be a tag team with lightweight and heavyweight coaching Joe there in Indiana. I'm excited for him, and he's, I would have never thought when he first came to camp that he'd grow up into a Big Ten scholarship athlete. But
Indiana's had the last 2 national champions at 126 or 125 collegially, and that athlete was a big 125-pounder. So I got to believe they're going to have Fajiano at 197 next year.
First point of the match goes to Brantley on the escape. We're halfway through the 215-pound final, and we've got some underhooking and some pummeling going on. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, this is typical big guy wrestling. Fagiano's got his blocked with his head. He needs to clear out of there. Brantley's doing a good job pummeling him. That's going to take his toll on Brantley, jacking it up and not getting anything. So look for Fagiano to get away quickly in the third, and we'll see what happens.
Under 40 seconds left in the second period now. The only point of the match, the escape earlier this period for Brantley. He leads 1-0.
I like how Brantley uses those underhooks. Fagiano's got to quit letting him do that and get some angles and create some more motion. But coming back to talking whoa!
Oh, that was a nice. Oh, Fagiano's an inside trip.
That was
careful there.
That was real gutsy because he almost got caught with it.
You can't get careless there. Short time left. 5 seconds left. We're not going to see any score here. Fagiano's going to pick bottom. I look for him to really hit it hard on bottom. He looks like he's still got some gas in the tank, still going strong.
Well, I tell you what, Fagiano did not come close to scoring there at the end. However, it intentionally or not, it sent a signal to the refs that I'm the one moving forward, and that may have some effect in the third period.
Yeah, no question it will.
He's the one
Brantley
taking the shots. Brantley has not yet. Oh, boy, he's got the double underhook. Brantley's got the double underhook. He just about jacked it, but Fagiano recovered.
Almost a little high dive action there. Didn't quite happen.
Yeah, Fagiano's definitely been the aggressor from a standpoint of attacking and shooting, but I like Brantley's underhooks. He jams them in there. Joe Fagiano would have been better served to keep out of those underhooks more. He needs to let him in that position because he obviously doesn't have a scoring attack when Brantley double underhooks him.
I tell you, Brantley's going to be an interesting situation in terms of if he wants to wrestle in college, because he definitely is not a 197-pounder, but he is certainly too small for heavyweight. That's at least as it stands right now, he'd have to really hit the weight room. Brantley wrestles like a little guy, doesn't he?
Fagiano's the one that took the risk there again, though. He's committed. I don't want to see him make that critical mistake. I love his aggressiveness, though. I'm really impressed. Fagiano has changed levels really well and hit some slick stuff. It's too much booty to get under there. I mean, that Brantley's powerful.
Oh, boy, that was a nice stuck on Brantley. He got in on the leg. Fagiano got in on the leg.
He's got to pull it in. He's got to get to the heel. He's got to get to the heel.
I don't know if he can Brantley used his hip. Strong counter.
He's got to get out of there quick. He can't stay
down
there.
Fagiano's in trouble if he's
35 seconds left to go here. It's 1-1. Next takedown most likely wins.
I tell you what, Fagiano is not getting any benefit in terms of his aggressiveness from the refs. They have not even warned Brantley. Even though Brantley's jacked that underhook, Brantley has not taken an actual offensive shot, and Fagiano's not getting any benefit from that.
Yeah, Joe's got to make sure the commitment he made. That was a great commitment, though, earlier. That slop, though. That slop, he can't go there.
Left to go.
Oh, he might snake out of it. He's going to get it. He's going to, nothing yet. No points yet. Nothing yet.
It's a scramble. It's a scramble. Oh, wow. It's a lightweight scramble with time running out. No points.
That was
incredible.
He tried to drive.
Scramble at 2:15.
He tried to drive through that whizzer and almost got hip to his own back, but no control, and we go to overtime.
Woo, has this been
what
a
scramble.
finals tonight, this whole night? Wow.
It has been. I'm really impressed with both these guys. Both those wrestlers there scrambled. That was incredible. I don't see that at 2:15.
You do not expect to see that scramble.
The Fagiano of maybe a couple of years ago might have just turtled on his own back, but he scrambled out of it and no points.
He's got to get off his knees. He let up. There it is.
Well,
Joe's
you know what?
tired.
These guys are both getting fatigued.
Yeah.
Things are getting a little sloppier out there. Not surprising. It is getting sloppier with the fatigue.
26 seconds left to go here in the first overtime on the feet.
He can't be
guys
stupid here.
Are exhausted.
Joe needs to move and catch his breath. His gas tank looked down.
It's 1-1, but they've been working hard, even though the score doesn't look like it. Down to 15 seconds now. Fagiano pushing forward. And now Brantley good.
Oh, they're on the edge. They called it off. They called it off. They called it off. Wow, that was close. That was
only had
really
one ankle
close.
anyway.
He's got to get a second win.
8 seconds left. Second time in this period that Fajiano has taken his time getting back to the center. 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are going to the second overtime.
There is no gas tank. There is no gas left in Fagiano's gas tank.
Fajiano is winded.
The only thing he has left at this point is his desire, and so does Brantley, so we'll see where it takes us. The gas tanks are on fumes here, guys.
If Brantley is winded, he's doing a better job of not showing it. Now Fajiano has the leg and brings him back down.
He's got to work up. He can't get called for locking hands.
He's going to get warned for stalling if he stays down there.
Now remember,
he's got to work up. He's trying to. Well, there's the stall.
There's the stall warning on Fajiano. 12. But the damage was done for Brantley. That
12 seconds left in this first overtime. Fajiano trying to get the ride out.
That took 18 of the 30 seconds off the clock, even though he got warned for stalling.
Can he waste this last 12
He's got to
seconds
get a leg. He's got to get a leg. He's got to dump him. He's got to
dump him. He's trying to.
He's going to ride him out. He can't warn him though. He can't warn him here. He's done all the work the whole match though.
Okay, he got it done. He was really close to getting hit again, but the time ran out. 0-0 going into the extra 30-second period.
Fajiano gets the ride out. Oh, Brantley is going to cut him.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Gut check here.
Brantley is going to cut him. This is just like the Dvorak final against Goble.
And Fagiano's already been warned for stalling. He's already been warned. Brantley's just got to take it to him.
He cut him in this situation and almost got the takedown that won it. And
they tie it up. They call Fajiano for stalling. That was quick, but they tie it up.
Disagree with that call. Fagiano's done the whole work the whole match.
I agree.
Oh, goodness.
Fajiano.
Nothing there. Still nothing. Fajiano has the leg.
Time is out. Time is out. Time is out. No takedown.
What are they going? Nothing there. Fajiano somehow kept the leg on that scramble.
You know, Fajiano has not gotten the benefit of his aggressiveness in the first 6 minutes.
Now Fagiano's going to have to come up with another ride out because Brantley scored first.
But that was the call on the mat. Like it or not, that was the call, and it's going into another 30-30.
Caution against Fajiano. That's no problem. He doesn't have any. Will this go 30 seconds? Brantley tripod, stands up. Fajiano still has the bear hug. He broke the hands, it's over.
That's the point for Brantley. What a tough match for both guys.
In the tiebreaker.
That is 3 out of 3 state championships for Mount Carmel tonight.
Wow, Brantley sure did have a full gas tank. He did a great job of pushing the pace there.
3-2 Fajiano in 2006. 3-2 Brantley in 2007.
Well, you can't tell the book by its cover because if you look at those two athletes, you're not going to say Brantley's in the better shape. And wind-wise, that's what it turned out to be.
Standing here with Christian Brantley, a 215-pound state champ, the third state champ from Mount Carmel tonight. Christian, tell me what's going on in your mind, besides the fact that you look very tired.
I prayed this prayer. Lord, I touch and agree with my grandmother. Let me wrestle as he twists before we wrestle. And that's with no fear. No fear in that mess.
This 285-pound championship match is brought to you by Gilbert Grappling School of Wrestling. To become a champion, you must train like one.
Truly has been a great state finals. I mean, I'm excited to be here. I appreciate Illinois Matmen for bringing me in. It's been really fun working with you guys.
Well, it's been terrific having you here, and Goble has been very impressive in this championship so far. Kowalick certainly not going to go down without a fight.
Goble, a couple times state place winner. This is Kowalick's first time placing in the state tournament.
Rob,
so far, a little movement on the part of both these guys.
Rob, do you know if either of these big men are football players and if they're looking at possible football scholarships versus wrestling?
Not to my knowledge. I know they both play, but not to my knowledge.
Kowalick's the senior. He comes in with a 39-2 record, and Goble has been almost flawless. He's a junior coming in with a 49-1 record. Nice takedown by Goble for a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, what he used there was a snap down to a front headlock, and then he cut the corner really well and got the angle. It's good execution, good big boy technique. You know, too many big guys choose to dive with the legs and what have you. That's not necessarily your best options. I mean, early on especially, you want to be snapping ahead, looking for high singles, really looking for high percentage offense, and that was a perfect example of safe, effective offense. And lightweights can do that too. Lightweights should snap the head down. As a matter of fact, Munster, I was really impressed with the way he worked the head.
He works the head nice, doesn't he?
I was real
sure
pleased.
Doesn't look like a freshman.
No, very poised. It comes from that youth wrestling. And I, as an athlete, I personally like closing the gap, working the head. I didn't want to stay on the open because I wasn't the fastest guy out there, so I would try to work the head, wear the guy down, set up my shots by snapping the head and getting reactions. And we're doing that right there. Snap down to a front headlock. That's really effective technique in all age groups and all sizes.
A win by Garrett Goble here gives Montini the mythical, shall we say, team title. Under 15 seconds left in the first period.
Goble's working that near side arm.
Yeah, boy, he's cranking here.
Oh, he's trying to run that bar.
Kowalick's using
Can't
a
do
fair
it.
amount of energy just to not get time.
And one period is in the books, 2-0 for Garrett Goble of Montini.
Goble has his choice and defers, so Kowalick will choose. And interestingly, Kowalick chooses neutral.
Well, I think
enough time underneath them already in that first period.
It's always interesting when I see a guy that's just gotten ridden for a minute and a half and he's got the choice, takes down. You gotta wonder how wise that choice is unless the situation were absolutely to demand it.
There's another front headlock. Let's see if he can pull him down and capitalize on his front headlock. He's got to get him extended. He needs to pull him back to the mat.
Kowalick's got the front headlock. Let's see if he can score with it.
Now, if he didn't get the angle, never got him extended. So that's the difference in the match so far. Goble was able to use effective front headlock technique, but Kowalick was not able to.
Kowalick trying to pummel in, can't do it. And they go off the edge. 1:17 left in the second.
Front headlock used to be even a more common and effective technique, but anymore there's often stalemates and potentially dangerous holds called. Referees don't give as much time to work on it. And what's evolved is a lot of underhook moves. Like I call it a snake, where you jam the underhook across the back. A lot of people call it a head chancellery or cement job. And then there's also the roll through, which I call a twister. You hit the guy like a tornado coming at you. And some people call that a gator roll or a cement mixer. But those positions have become much more effective, and there's a lot of subtleties that make those moves work. Now, I don't recommend it for the heavyweights. I like the front headlock for the heavyweights.
They sweat a little bit too much for some of those?
And it's a lot of risk going on. Well, you know, the snake, pulling the guy over with the head chancellery, that works at heavyweight. But underneath them with the twister, I don't recommend that for the highest weights. Although, if you think about it, NCAA Finals, Albany 2002, there was a big match. Rowan was losing in the NCAA Finals by 8 points, and he pinned his guy with the twister. That's what people know as the gator roll or what have you. And one of the upper weights. Yeah. It wasn't heavyweight. It was one of the upper weight classes. So it's it's a little leery. I generally speaking, I like it for middleweights and lightweights. But if you get really good at it as an upper weight, 84, 97. I'm using college weights here, but the upper weight classes.
Do you have to hit that? Do you have to hit that earlier in the match before things get sweaty?
Not necessarily if you keep the chin tight or get the wrist tight, but it is an effective early move. What a lot of people use it for, though, is desperation. When they're behind, they go for the roll through. But I teach it as an effective offense. There's a number of subtleties as far as getting it tight to extend him, kind of like you're baiting or catching a fish, kind of set the hook before you take him, and then also driving through the guy. You guys at home that use that move, you got to drive through him, whether it's folk style or a freestyle gator roll. You've got to drive through your opponent. You can't just roll under. You got to hip ice and drive through him.
2 periods are done. Still 2-0 for Garrett Goble of Montini, and Goble will start on the bottom. Kowalick showing the optional, and he cuts him loose. 3-0.
Well, Goble's been in charge of this from the very start. Kowalick's he's making a valiant fight, but he's just not finding any source of offense against Goble. He's just not finding any openings.
His best chance is to underhook. He needs to press the pace and get into an underhook. Goble's doing a good job keeping his elbows in.
Oh, yeah. Now a stall against Goble.
That's where Fajiano went wrong. Fajiano let his opponent get under his elbows too much. Whereby early in this match, remember they were in an over-under, and Goble's recognized that, and Goble's not letting Kowalick into those underhooks very much. He's getting out of there. Oh!
Well,
gotta like that.
No points, but I think he made his point.
Rob, do we know if Goble placed last year?
Goble was fifth, and was at the time was still a 215-pounder in the Montini's first year in Double A, and fourth in A the year before. So
he's really coming on.
Showed he was very talented, and obviously, with Dave Lembus in the room with him, who probably is good enough to have been in the finals as well. He had plenty of people to work out with.
Are you guessing he goes around 255 or 260?
I don't know if he's quite that big. Lembus is bigger. I think Goble's probably still around 240, 245.
Well, we're 48 seconds away from crowning our final state champion for the night, and Goble is still holding a really commanding 3-0 lead. It hasn't been that close.
Yeah, it's really amazing how one takedown could really dictate a match, but that first takedown definitely did it for Goble.
Yeah, that was the key. Boy, this has been a great finals, though. Right up and down through. I saw some exciting wrestling, and Illinois wrestling is on the move, real impressive. I'm glad I'm coming. I'm glad J.D. Levi, I got to thank him for bringing me here. He's involved with the production of this tape. His production team has put this together, and he's the one that encouraged me to come check out Illinois wrestling. And I'm very, very impressed. I'm looking forward to going to his school, South Belgium, tomorrow, and doing the clinic, and then coming back this summer. I look forward to getting to know a lot of dedicated Illinois wrestlers at our camp.
Well, and I want to say,
wow, he gave it a shot.
Woo. Where was that earlier,
Kowalick gave it a valiant shot, drove it right off the mat, a little too far off the mat, and a little too late.
9 seconds left.
With 10 seconds left, I also want to thank Mike Bear and Illinois Matman for putting the streaming on the air, because it's nice to give fans who can't get here, especially with the weather and the traffic and the snow, something to share with the state championships.
5-0 is the final for Garrett Goble of Montini. Montini takes it all in the team race, and Goble takes it all at 285 pounds.
Yeah, ever since I lost it last year, I told myself it's supposed to happen again. I never wanted to feel that feeling again. So I just worked hard in the off season, got in better shape.
And we talked about, you probably have, it's kind of like the joke with our production team, you probably got the best JV wrestler in the country as your practice partner, a kid, Dave Lembus, who would start from probably any other high school in Illinois and be at the state tournament as a qualifier. Talk about what it means to have him and working with you every day in addition to your coaches.
Well, without him, I wouldn't be here right now. He's the one that pushes me in practice, really gets me in shape and everything. I wouldn't do nothing without him.
So for Mark Massery and Ken Schertout, thank you for joining us. Enjoy the rest of the DVD.